Ugh. OBS and all right, all right. OBS. First of all, don't ever do that again. Second of all, God damn it. I don't want that. I don't want that to ever happen again. All right. Seems my OBS effed up. There's the chat. There's Dono. There's alerts now. Wait, what the heck is this? All right, there's an invisible square in the middle of my screen. I need to figure out what that is. That is the alerts. All right, we're good. All right. Thanks. Thanks, Stream Elements. Thank you, Argus. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Anyway.
Hey Buns,
Okay.
today we need to talk about the Endwalker patches because, look, this is a video that I wanted to make quite some time ago, but I myself actually got really burnt out for the first time in the entire time I've been playing these games, which is since 2015.
I want to say, while people do get burnt out, being burnt out doesn't mean that the expansion is bad. It just means that there's just a lot that they've done within the expansion, and as Zepla has based herself around MMOs, I wouldn't say just around 14 because she comes from World of Warcraft. I would say that this burnout was because she did a lot. She did a lot in this game. She did a lot. She played on stream. She played with her viewers. She did a lot. And the fact of being is that because she did a lot, she's now burnt out. That's the fact of the matter here. So this doesn't go against the expansion.
Since Heaven's Ward. I've been an active player ever since then, and it was the first time that I actually felt like I really needed to step away and take a breather, and I did. I did just that, because although I had thought about a lot of these things before, I was thinking, well, am I just being burnout? Am I being unfairly negative? Am I being a hater? So I took that break, and I came back feeling refreshed and revitalized and in love with the game again, and I'm having fun again. I'm, working on my clams. I'm raiding. I'm doing the hunt trains. I got my bluebird bow, which I love, and
She
I
got her
can't wait to
bow.
get the bunny staff. Those are amazing.
She
So
got the
looking
staff.
forward to Dawn Trail. Looking forward to the Fan Fest in London, and overall, back in love with this game that means so much to me and is really home for me. But with all that said, looking back now with a much more clear mind, I think I definitely feel that the concerns that I had before, some of them definitely had real merit. And I think it's not a coincidence that it's not just me, but almost everyone I know seems to be burnt out with FFXIV right now and just not logging
All
into the
right.
game or
Okay.
raid
All
logging
right.
or
I
just
gotta.
completely
I
disinterested.
I have to. I have to ask why she says FFXIV. I guess that's like a thing on her channel that she says FFXIV. I don't know why she's saying FFXIV. Just say 14. It's two syllables, 4 in teen, not FFXIV, and it's just like, wow, that's a little much. That's, you can even say Final Fantasy and be shorter than FFXIV. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking. I'm like, wait, why is she saying FFXIV? That's so silly.
And feeling like, well, there's so little pressure to log in, and I could either log in now or maybe next year or maybe in 5 years, And so, yes, there's still one more patch, but we know exactly what is going to be in it because, for better or for worse, this has been very, very predictable too. And I'm seeing social groups sort of dissolve, and it sucks. I'm concerned about the state of the MMO. And although I'm not doomsaying, okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not out here like, oh, well, this is the end of FFXIV. It's all over. It's ruined. No, I'm not saying that, okay? But what I am saying is that there are concerning signs, and I'm seeing less engagement from everyone I personally know. And then I thought, well, maybe I'm just It was just my group of people that I know. So I went on Twitter and I asked the question to do a vibe check of the community. Be honest. How do you feel about the Endwalker patches? And I was honestly shocked by the number of people that just felt like it's underwhelming, it's lackluster, it's just not that interesting. These are not people who are saying it's terrible, I hate it, it sucks. That's not really what I'm hearing that much. What I'm hearing is it's mid. It's fine. I don't really care that much. I'm hearing apathy. I'm hearing like it's okay. And honestly, that's not gonna cut it. Like, if we want to keep people playing this game long term and have people to play with, I feel like the game is gonna have to find ways to get more people excited about it and get more people happy. It's mid. It's fine. I don't really care that much. I'm hearing
Okay, I double clicked on my I double clicked on my mic there. So I thought I thought I was talking. Anyway, I was trying to say I was just reading off some of these I was reading off some of these comments here. It's mid, it was all right. I want the story to be over already. Kind of meh. As a Final Fantasy, what is that, 4 fan? Yeah, I love the boss fights, but I wish there were parts of the MSQ. I feel like there's a lot volume wise, not too good to be honest, painfully mid. I find MSQ kind of meh. It's mid, it just feels like they have no idea where to take the story now that it's over. I mean, you know what? What was that one that said that was kind of meh? And then Island Sanctuary is fun. Eureka Orthos is bad deep dungeon. We'll get to that because it is kind of a bad deep dungeon. Yeah, all these comments here are not wrong with their opinion. And then there are going to be people that they're like, no, you're wrong. It was amazing. This was an amazing expansion. We have to come to terms that not much happened. Not much. Endwalker, when it came out, it was good because the story was basically ending, right? Once the story has ended, it kind of feels like you could just turn off the game. I'm gonna be honest. Still think 14 sucks right now because Square is relocating funds so Yoshi P can't afford to do what he can't with the story. What he can with the story. I find it kind of odd that I'm kind of leaning towards that being true. Like, we don't know what's happening behind closed doors. Let's be honest. We can think that they're doing that, and it could be possibly true, but we don't actually know unless they say it. Unless there's proof that they actually did say that they're taking the funds from 14 and putting it elsewhere, then it's like, damn. I mean, honestly, I'm leaning towards that being true. Square Enix has had NFTs, failed games. They have had NFTs, and they've had failed games. That is very true. And basically, Final Fantasy as the franchise, the series, is holding up Square Enix right now. Not just 14, Final Fantasy in general. Because I think 16 would have done much better. Would have done so much better if it was also on the PlayStation 4. You can disagree with that. You can, because like I said, it's a matter of opinion, but I think it would have done better if it was also on the PlayStation 4 and not a PS5 exclusive. I don't know why they decided it was a good idea to keep it as a PS5 exclusive. Not really too sure about that decision. Maybe there was some hardware limitations, but I doubt it because it doesn't feel like there was any hardware limitations at all. Like, I don't know. But keeping something exclusive, hoping that it will boost the sales of the console, is a very huge gamble, and you should not gamble like that. Not in today's day and age. And I think the old heads over in Square Enix don't realize this. But going back to 14, yeah, a lot of people are expressing that this expansion is actually kind of meh. It's kind of meh. The story when it was going through, like I love the story, I love the ending, but after that, the post game, I don't know. I don't know. I just suddenly started like not playing. You know, more like pretty limitations. Yeah, yeah.
Apathy. I'm hearing like it's okay. And honestly,
Yeah,
that's not gonna cut it. Like, if we want to
yeah.
keep people playing this game long term and have
Because you
people
gotta
to play
remember,
with, I feel
you gotta remember that Final Fantasy 14 is now one of the most popular MMOs in the world now. It's one of the most popular MMOs in the world right now. One of the most popular. For some people, it is the most popular. For me, it's one of the most. I can't really say it is the most. Nothing's happening in World of Warcraft right now, though. So I can't. They're both in this. They're in the same boat together. They're both in the same boat of being mid right now. World of Warcraft is not doing all that great. 14 is very slow or not doing awesome neither. So it's like it's a little weird. What's going on here?
like the game is going to have to
A lot of
find
missed
ways to
opportunities
get
for
more
content,
people
of course.
excited about it and get more people happy.
I think the
looking forward to
creativity
logging
is slowing down
actually
quite a lot.
logging FFXIV
Maybe
because especially this
developers
year,
were
I think what we're
taken.
starting
I
to
don't know.
see is that there are a ton of really quality games coming out, and
Yes.
they are.
It's kind of funny she puts 16 up there because my assumption is that they took maybe some staff and developers and resources from 14 and put it into 16. They took the director, and the director had to work on both games.
For better or worse, in competition for your time. And it's wonderful that FFXIV does not, pressure you so much to log in.
Right.
It's never done that. But in the
Right.
past expansions, we have, although the game hasn't been pressuring you too much to log in, there have been exciting things that we could all log in together to do, that people had reasons to do. Yes, it
Right.
is normal for after a patch has been out for a while, people.
I like how she's showing the Bojin, the Bojin Southern Front, because it is also, I think Boja is my favorite kind of way. Like, it was one of my favorite areas in Shadowbringers, and people were pissed off at that place. They're like, "Oh, this is stupid. This is dumb." I'm like, I don't know. I like this. It's like a simpler form of Eureka, and people. There were people who liked the later half of Eureka. I hated Eureka as a whole, right? And they came out with Boja, and that's basically a simpler form of Eureka. But like it was fun to me. I think there was, like, just because of Boja alone, there was like more content in Shadowbringers than there are right now than Endwalker. And somebody did come up to me and say, like, Endwalker and Shadowbringers have just as much content as the other. And technically, they're right, so.
People to get burnt out and bored. It's normal for, at the end of an expansion's life cycle, for people to get, well, I'll just go do other stuff. That's okay.
True.
That always happens. But what I'm seeing is this happening soon after, like a week after.
Another thing is that they probably think that we might just move on to other aspects of the game during downtime, but not having a relic quest definitely feels more like an insult. I'm already done with Eureka and Boja. Right. Like, some people just want to get that one weapon from Eureka and Boja and move on to the next relic weapon. But then they were like, nah, let's just combine it with Hildebrand. I'm sure there hasn't been a lot of people who did Hildebrand. It's just like, no, you're wrong. That's one of your feature side quests that you put in, like, in almost every game except for Shadowbringers for whatever reason. It doesn't seem like they wanted to touch that. But he had a cameo. That's about it. But now they're forcing people to do the Hildebrand quest just to get the relic. I don't think that was cool.
a major patch comes out, or like I started to see this phenomenon after the first like major patch of the whole expansion. 0.1 patch, 0.2 patch, 0.3 patch. This should not be as big of a phenomenon as it is so early on in the life cycle of the expansion, and so I'm worried. And we're going to talk about all the contributing factors. And if you're having a good time, good for you. I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't be having fun. If you're having fun, great. Keep at it.
That's also that's a sentiment that I share. If you're having fun, have fun with the game that you're playing. And I'm pretty sure it's mostly casual people that are having the most fun in 14 right now. And it's probably people like me who have played this game for like 10 years that are feeling this effect right now. Yeah. So I guess I'm a minority in all this. I have all the weapons of Boja and Eureka because there's no current relic guide. Not just a few. Perfectly okay with forcing people to do it, but leave room for people who already did it to explore. True. Shouldn't force people into something just to get something.
But I don't think that's even the right word, because with burnout, you think normally that's when you do something so much, so often, every day, so hard and so long that you just get sick of it.
It's not burnout. This is not burnout. To be specifically clear, this is not burnout. This is lack of interest. You can call it boredom, but this is just lack of interest. You just don't want to play the game, really. Like, what is there for you to do?
You can't think about it. You don't want to think about it anymore. You're tired of it. And it's such a relief to stop. But this isn't really what I'm seeing with people. These are people that want to do something. It's more like how burnout is actually thought of in the car world, where you just sit there, you stay put.
I remember Endgame kind of almost killed the game too.
Get in the car, there's a lot of smoke. This car could be fun to drive at some point.
You said Heavensward Endgame kind of almost killed the game too. You think they would learn, especially with that really punishing raid tier and nothing to do. The punishing raid tier. What do you mean by it almost killed the game? What do you mean by that? Because from as far as I could tell, Heavensward not only accentuated 14's popularity, but it made it spread like a virus. In a good way. If you mean like maybe like the ending, the penultimate ending of Heavensward, I don't know. But what do you mean by that? What do you mean by the end game kind of almost killed the game too? And Heavensward, do you mean like the regular end game, or do you mean like end game as a whole last patch or something like that? I'm just trying to understand. I'm not trying to say anything against it. I just want to understand this content drought in the sense of interest. The funny thing is that they're putting out content on a regular basis, you know, every 3 months and so, but the content isn't too interesting, nor do you spend a lot of time inside that content. So like when they came out with the Island Sanctuary, you literally got it done in like a few days, if not a few hours. Like you get it done so fast, you don't have a reason to go back. Same thing with variant dungeons. As much as I like variant dungeons, you do it and then you're done and then you don't go back. Because really, what is the reason for it to go back? Maybe for the glamour? I'm not sure if I really want the glamour. However, story made the game blow up, yeah, but if you were between patches, you were starving for content, you would then try to raid, and Alexander would never give you a chance to feel good. Oh, I think what you're feeling, I don't think that killed the game. And a casual view of, for Heavensward, I think Heavensward actually kind of just made it more popular, but for somebody who was more interested into the game, I don't think the game was really like killed or anything like that. I don't think it had like any content drought or anything like that. I think it kept pushing out content and people still kept playing Heavensward even post game. So from my point of view, there was a lot of population growth because Heavensward was that good, and through each and every patch, it just kept getting better. But if you were part of the tier that was going through like like you were saying, if you're going through the like Alexander raids, which was punishing, I will admit to that. The Savage Alexander was goddamn punishing. Holy crap! If that was your focus, then you may feel like they're ruining the game. But I think they learned from Alexander. Honestly, I think they did. During Heaven, where I never had a chance to try Diadem, I didn't even know what it was until Larry Zer's video. That's the problem with Diadem. Diadem was like, I think at first Diadem was just like a place where you can get extra like resources, take on extra things. It was kind of like a mini Eureka in a way, a very, very mini Eureka, because you could still just go in with a party and a team. And then they like changed it so that you just go in there to gather resources. If there were no relics to grind in Heavensward, I'm 100% positive no one would remember Heavensward positively. I doubt that. Kind of don't agree to that. Respectfully, I don't agree with that, because even even after I got my relic in Heavensward, I was still having fun. I found things to do, whether like the new content that they were bringing out for the Golden Saucer, or whether or not you were really doing Savage but taking your time, or you're going through just basically greeting people who were coming into the game. There was mounts that you could get. There were, I think at the time, there was also the fact that sociability was just on the rise. People were just doing stupid stuff for like stupid reasons. But for me, I didn't have like a bad time with Heavensward because Relic was there. I had a good time with like I had a good time with Heavensward because of like every other aspect with it. So like I remember Heavensward fondly, not because of the Relic, but that was my experience. Heavensward and ARR Relic grind was easily the most satisfying. But the White Mage Relic finale can burn in hell. I never did that one. I never did the White Mage one. But everyone's opinion is valid. It could have been a good or bad thing depending on their experience. So it could be different. Because I'm just a player that finished everything and then like nothing left to do between patches. But I've been a very consistent player. I think the thing about 14 is that it's catered, and we could all agree to this, it caters towards casual people. People who are casual to the game are more rewarded in 14 than people who are consistently playing. I think that's the case. And it hasn't been more proof about that than what's going on with Endwalker right now, where people who want to play the game can't really play the game because they don't really want to play the game because there really isn't anything in there for them to do. So every patch, they just do the thing for the patch. And if there's like an extra fight, they may do it once and then they leave. And that's how it is. And I think that's been kind of the same thing that's been going on with that, you know? And the relic design was horrendous. That relic design was horrendous. Looked like a poor orphanage Christmas tree. Ouch. But you know what? I think white mages around will probably agree to that. I haven't really looked at it. I got mine. I'm happy with mine. I'm happy with my my Heavensward relic for my Dark Knight. So I think I'm good. But let's hear what because it's funny, I said Zeepla. Holy crap! Don't tell her I said that. Zepla, she got a lot of flack for this video. She really did.
But that point is not right now because you are stationary. Now, one thing that I'm really tired
That's a good metaphor, by the way.
At this point, just sick of hearing is, well, Yoshi
Eureka relics were the least interesting. I think they were actually interesting. I just hated Eureka.
Okay, I played other games for 6 months. Yes, I'm glad I can play other games. I'm glad that FFXIV doesn't pressure me to the extent that World of Warcraft used to. But
Jawbreaking relics made me throw up.
World of Warcraft being on the extreme end of, oh my god, I have to be on this treadmill and I have to keep
I like how I'm
behind it sucks. That's a way to burn out quickly. And now,
yeah, true, very true.
So far and going further. And
I like how I'm on the opposite end with that when it comes to Shadowbringer relics. Like I hated Eureka, and everybody loved like Eureka's latter half, and I really just did not have a good time with Eureka. But I liked the Southern Front because it was just very simple. You were just going through the Southern Front, make your way to like the 3rd tier. You were partying up with people out of nowhere, and you were just beating things down. Like, people would just like pull you into a party and you didn't ask for it. They just see you that you're free and they're just like, hey, come on in. And you're like, oh my God. It's like, I was just walking around. I was like, yeah, we saw you were by yourself, so we're gonna pull you into this party. And you know, like, we got to the other fields within the Southern Front. People will come all over. They would, and all you have to say is like, hey, I'm looking for a party, and people will pull you into a party as soon as possible. And then you take down whatever fate was there, and then you know, I did not like that last raid that they had, because it was so exclusive. Like, you couldn't go in unless the time that it was up that you can go in, because it was treated like a fate. And when you go in, right, it's not very clear what you're supposed to do because it doesn't like automatically separate the groups. You got to know what you're doing in there. Like, do you stay at the bottom to take on the front gate? Do you go to the top of the gate to take on the big mech? Right? People who like to troll you going through the hallways with the lasers, they're like, left. All right, I'm going left. Oh! I didn't, but I mean, I like the last boss. I just didn't like the entire functionality of it. And I didn't like how that worked with the fates, because sometimes people just weren't going in. So like you could go in with like 10 people at a time. Like it was, I don't think they think about that. I don't think they think about that at all. They don't think about like what happens afterwards. What happens when the Southern Front loses all of its population, because that's what's going to happen once you go into Endwalker. At least they did. Wait, hold on. At least they didn't do the relic weapon grind from 11 from back in the day. Of course, they were not going to do that. That was archaic as hell. Of course, they're not going to do that. Or they have pop timers for necessary content. Maybe because it was still all optional, because you didn't have to do the Southern Front. You didn't even have to touch it. Like, the Southern Front was an optional thing to do. It was not. Oh, what was that? Something flashed in front of me. It wasn't really something that you had to do it like mandatory. That was all still like optional stuff. And I guess they were trying to push being in a party. Let's be in a party, guys. Go into a party to get into this raid. If you're not in a party, then the raid's gonna suck. If you're not in a big party, then the raid's gonna be much harder, because a lot of people are just doing whatever they want. Biggest take was that I don't have time to play when I want to. That's why I don't feel like there is nothing to do, which is a special problem. It is a special problem, because I agree, a lot of people don't have a lot of time to play the game. But I think the thing about 14 is that it allows you to do whatever you want to do whenever you want, for the sole exception for content that needs parties. Like, I think Eureka and Southern Front. They really miscalculated with that one. All right, let's hear Zeppela a little bit more.
And the other end of the spectrum of, oh, there's so little pressure on me that I could either do this today or I could do it next year. You know, like, this also has a similar effect of just.
We were just talking about that, actually.
The game.
See?
They're just not playing the game, ultimately. That's
See?
the end result. And
that final raid in 4-man, let's say I wasn't happy when we failed because of the timer at the 5% mark. Oh my god.
And they just won't come back. Seeing FFXIV go down this path where people feel less and less motivated or interested or incentivized at all to log in at endgame.
There is no motivation, really.
It's really helpful to listen. I cannot believe I'm saying it, to Ian Hazuko's.
Oh no!
I stand by this.
Oh no! What did she have to say?
Explain really well why it is important to incentivize players somewhat to play the game that you're making. And this is from the interview that Mike from Preach Gaming had with Ian at Blizzard HQ about 6 months ago. And this particular part of the interview really stood out to me, because to me, I heard FFXIV all over this.
You know, our goal is never habit in the sense of like you have to log in when you don't want to. Our goal is for you to want to log in. Our goal is for you to want to play World of Warcraft and to look forward to getting back into the game, to have something you want to complete, something you want to chase. And if you're not wanting it, then getting you to do it despite that isn't a victory for us. It's just burning people out. And so I think giving people the freedom to feel like they can take a step away, do something in real life, play another game for a while without falling behind is valuable. I think the one thing that we do worry about when it comes to, sort of the raid logging phenomenon or people taking breaks is the social nature of the game, is, sort of the critical mass of keeping a group together. If the person who is really excited to log in to do things with their guildmates logs in and no one from their guild is online because of whatever reason, and then they just log back off kind of disappointed because they were hoping to play with friends but their friends weren't around, that can be an issue. And I think that's something, going back to WoD, to Warlords of Draenor, that was probably the peak of the raid logging era, where really there was, like, other than checking your garrison, if it wasn't raid night, there was nothing to do. That felt like a step too, like too far toward that end of the spectrum.
We joked around whenever Endwalker came out that, Island Sanctuary, that's going to be the garrison of Final Fantasy.
No, she can't say that the island garrison, or I said the island garrison, holy shit, that the island sanctuary is going to be the garrison. She's probably going to make that connection that it is, but I think more or less it's like more people are not going into the game to, to play and do something in the game for some sort of achievement or anything like that. Like, they want to do something in there, but they just feel like doing anything is like, whew. My question is that, did anyone here make friends in Boja? I've made plenty. Actually, I made friends in Boja. But then again, I was going nuts in Boja. I was absolutely going crazy in Boja. There's a piece of artwork of me going nuts somewhere floating in the internet. I guess like a fan wanted to draw my craziness one stream, and I was trying to kill the red chocobo, and I was like, no, we're catching this son of a bitch, we're gonna kill him. Yeah, so I like dragged along some friends and made friends. Long-lasting friends, no, but while I was there, yes. Yeah. Can't say anything about what was that? Not sure what that says. I've never done it. As a crafter with an IRL job, that Island Sanctuary is a godsend to you. That's funny, because like the Island Sanctuary is like, is another optional thing to do. I think what people are trying to do with 14 is to do something meaningful to them. You know what I'm saying? I think somebody is trying to, I think people want to do something meaningful, right? The last bastion, and usually was the big thing for an expansion, is to get your relic weapon. And getting your relic weapon took time because it was kind of forced, right? It was kind of forced that you needed to take time, that you needed to go to this other instance area, and you need to go work with people, or you needed to work hard to get ingredients, and the only way that you can get, like, honestly, I wouldn't mind going back to Heaven's Word. Like, it's not my favorite way of making a relic, but I wouldn't mind going back to Heaven's Word if it's to get people to come back in and, at least work as a team or try to do something to get their relics done. Like, I don't know if they have an idea of how to make relics interesting. And even though a lot of people really did complain about the Heaven's Work and the Realm Reborn relics, people did complain about that. You don't mistake yourselves. I shouldn't mistake myself right now neither. People complained about that quite a bit, Missed opportunity for player housing. They're never going to try to fix player housing. The only thing that they've done is like make sure that people aren't peeing in a bottle waiting for a house to actually be available. You know what I'm saying? Island Sanctuary has purchasable crafting materia that saved me so much gil. I'm more or less speaking about the content of the island itself. Like, when you go in there, you go to Island Sanctuary, people usually like complete the crap out of that thing within like hours or days, and then they just don't go back. People just don't go back. Oh, the Island Sanctuary. Okay, can't say anything about Island Sanctuary. I've never done it. Okay. You should try it. You should look into it. Maybe it's something you can get into. I think they had a missed opportunity in the Island Sanctuary, because I would have rather had like maybe like a pseudo, I don't know, Animal Crossing kind of feel with that. Maybe start up some huts. Maybe actually hunt some animals. Bring them over. You know, every time you go to a hunt, you can hunt with like NPCs, or you get whenever you hunt a monster, you can keep that as like a pet that you could take outside or something. Get pets within the Island Sanctuary. Get some sort of reward by going through the Island Sanctuary, other than like cosmetic stuff.
And I thought we were kidding, but we weren't. It is actually, it feels a lot like the Garrison. This reminds me a lot of Warlords of Draenor, which sucks because I quit World of Warcraft during Warlords of Draenor. Now, it's not as bad. It's not anywhere near as bad. But I'm sensing a lot of the same vibes of like loneliness, and like I'm not even in an MMO anymore. One of the biggest reasons why Endwalker
True
and isolating in the same way.
Notice that the game is turning more and more into a one-player game. Sooner or later, you're going to have a video pop up on YouTube. Probably there's already one now saying, "Can you beat 14 by yourself?" How much you want to bet there's going to be speedrunners out there that's going to try to complete the entire, I want to say, I guess you could say Meteor, Hydaelyn arc, Hydaelyn and Zodiac arc in like a matter of hours? How much you want to bet there's going to be a speedrun of that? There probably is already one. But like by now, you could probably play the entire game one player.
Is that Warlords of Draenor felt to me all those years ago is the lack of an exploration zone, the lack of anything like Bajra or Eureka or Zadnor. We just don't have that, and there's nothing added to the game that could even remotely replace that. And it's not.
From what I can tell, I believe Zepla really liked Bojja. She probably liked Eureka as well. I liked Bojja over Eureka. Get out of here, you dumb, stupid gnat. I'm a fan of Bojja. Now, like, the biggest disappointment in this game thus far, for me personally, is relic weapons kind of suck to get. Like, they're so easy. Like, 1,500 tomestones. You won't know if that's a good or bad thing until way later. True. We won't know. We won't know. Having a one-player game, we won't know if that's a good or bad thing. That is very true. Endwalker killed my drive for 14. I want to play again, but my motivation is just gone. True, very true. I haven't been motivated. I swear, when you leave the window open for just one night by accident, and a bunch of bugs come through the window, and they started saying, "This is my spot over here," it makes me want to just walk up, go to any Lowe's or Home Depot to find some gnat spray and bomb my apartment. I swear, that's how I feel right now. Anyway, you're right. We'll see what happens. Like, maybe I'll do like, maybe I'll try it myself, playing the game entirely one player to see how it feels to play 14 as a one player, you know? At the moment, we are in the middle of an expansion transition with no idea what direction we are going. In the Ancients arc, we can theorize we have nothing to go by right now. I mean, the only thing that we can really say is that the next expansion looks like we're supposed to be going on vacation. That's what it looks like. We don't know what's going to lead from that vacation to what. You're right about that. I thought we were going south to Mercidian, to Mercidia, or whatever you want to call it. Basically, the place where a couple dragons decided to go south and make base down there. And I thought we were going down there, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. We're going west to the old world, sort of, kind of to the old world. We're going closer to the old world than we are going to Mercidia. So it's kind of weird that right now it just feels like 14 is on hibernation. I should say it feels like it's hibernating. So each patch we go back into the game, we play for that patch for the story alone, and whatever new is happening within that, sure, we'll do it. I think the last thing we have is like the 12 story arc We finished that up, and then we're like in waiting mode for the next expansion. The Nats cut you off. You were saying something about your motivation. Nah, the Nats are like super effective against me. I hate them so much. I hate them so much. It's good to get the single players to try 14, but I hope they will make it where they will transition that will encourage multiplayer. Well, they can't do so. I don't think they can do solo Hades. I don't think they can do solo a lot of like the last boss. I don't think they can. Because Hades, from Hades to I want to say, well, did it start from Hades where we had the ability to just conjure up our other selves from the other shards? I wonder if COVID really hit the team harder than we thought it did. No. I think this is the case of like maybe Yoshi P had to spread himself way too thin, and he was working on Final Fantasy 16 at the same time, while Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker was a thing as well. Just be the team split for 16, yeah. Think about it this way: it gets better later for years. Now that it is done, what do we lean on now? I think the feeling is just fear of the unknown, i.e., why care anymore? True, because once you save the universe, what do you do after that? Well, they answered that for us. We're going on vacation, and for us, vacation means turning the game off. So I don't know if they understand the implication of saying let's go on vacation, because vacation means, oh, all right, we'll just turn the game off until the next expansion. So it's just like, we'll do the patches, we'll get that out the way, but we're going on our own personal vacations is what I'm thinking. But Zepla has like I think she has another way to say it. She still says to herself that it's like the worst expansion, as the title says, but
even so much about like, oh, well, I just love farming fates in Baja. I just love hunting down little items that has a tiny drop rate. And
bro, I hunted that red chocobo to the end of the earth.
It's about the vibe of Eureka and Baja. It's about being in a zone filled with tons of other players that reminds you that you're in an MMO. That there's a lot of people playing the same game as you, and it's really exciting, and we're all happy to be there for different reasons. Like, you might be in Baja because you're leveling, or because you're working on a relic, or because you're doing duels.
Did anybody go to Baja for leveling? I didn't need to. I still wouldn't do it. I don't think I ever went to Baja for leveling. Maybe some people did. People complain that they don't have time to play games. I hate that, how clickbait the title is. Maybe, I don't know. Don't spoil it. Does she not? Does she say, "Oh well, no, the time I don't really hate Endwalker. It's not the word." If she does say that, I will. We will have talks. I will find Zepla and we will have talks. That's what pisses me off, just to get attention. Ooh, we will have talks. Some people, hell no. Some people did. Oh god, now I did not go to Baja for leveling. Yeah, I don't think people went to Baja for leveling. Keep forgetting you can level in Baja. Yeah, I never forgot. It's just like, why would you though? Disagree with her about things, but never throw flack for it.
Or because you're collecting mounts.
With my resources, I could be like, what's up, Zepla? Why did you make that title?
And you might meet people that you wouldn't have known otherwise. You might meet people that were strangers to you before, but you have shared this common purpose, and then you meet more often, and that's how you make friends in the game. That's one of the beautiful things about an MMO. But with the content that they're releasing now, which is like solo stuff and small group stuff, you're usually going in there with people you know or alone. And it sucks because it's like, where else can you even show off your mount to other players?
She does make a point with that one. There is a lot of stuff that you can do by yourself and in Endwalker that you don't really need other people. Like, they give you the option to bring your friends to the island sanctuary for sure. but it's not like there's anything that's bringing people together. I mean, I don't play games as a job, so I don't understand the frustration. Me neither. I don't play games as a job. If I could, I would. And I would try to find like some middle ground or logic to it.
In the game, like, you can't do it in the city. Baja was the place to do that. It's the place where everyone is. It's the place that's happening that makes you feel like, oh, there's something.
She's
really.
really.
I can't wait to be there with them.
You can show off your mount in Boja. Yeah, you can.
And without that, it just
so
feels...
in Boja, you can ride your mounts in Boja. You can ride. I don't know about Eureka, but you can ride your mounts in Boja. I forgot about Eureka. Eureka's like some other thing. I think you can. I think you can ride your mount in Eureka, but like more importantly, in Boja. Showing off your mount, I don't know if that was really a thing, but if you can get mounts in in Boja, you can get, I think you can get like two or three. I know there's one that's really hard to get. I don't remember which one that was, but you can get one. I got one. I think I got one. Yeah, I got one. I have one Bojan mount, but I didn't get the others. I also hate wild major cities where everyone used their show-off mounts to swag and hide the mailbox. I never had that experience. You go for your mailbox, somebody just plops on top of you with a brontosaurus, just like, sup, buddy? You're like, hi, I'm just trying to get my mail. Nah, no mail for you. Look at my mount. And I'm like, can I get my mail? No. Look at my badass crystal dragon. I'm sorry. That reminds me of a small video where it's exactly that scenario, where a guy just kept hovering around this person, showing off his mounts, until finally he just said, "Report player," and the player disappeared. Sorry. Man, I wish I could find that video. I don't know. I don't remember what the title was.
Really
Play 14 without meeting any meaningful friends, i.e. my friend list is a filler since I have played the game. Maybe crafting so much. Maybe.
It might contribute to, or even be...
Got your first Mojo mount coincidentally on your sister's B-Day.
I barely see anyone else, and so this game is dead, right? Of course that is going to be reinforced if you're not doing anything. You're not called to do anything where you can actually see tons of other players around. I've been finding myself happy to see lots of people standing around the Aetheryte. And that's about as far as it gets in me feeling like I'm in an MMO. And frankly, that's unacceptable. One of the reasons that we had... Okay, we need to do a test then. All right, she pulls up a perfectly good point. Let's do a test here. Get out of here, Nat. Why are gnats attracted to our breath? I don't get that. What is in our breath that they like? Ugh. Anyway, we need to do a test. Pressing the wrong button. We need to do the Limsa test. CO2. Well, you can get CO2 outside. I don't, go away. You can get all the CO2 outside. In fact, I believe CO2 is most prominent outside. Go out there. Leave me alone. Oh God. You guys can't see it, but someone is advertising their strip club in my chat. I don't know if that's legal. I don't think you could do that. Yeah, I don't think you could do that. Anyway, Limsa test. All right. Until they sorry about this. My processor takes a little bit of time to get things loaded up here. All right, here we go. All right, we got some stuff happening. All right, I've learned a couple things when I've visited Limsa a few times. Oh my goodness, is this all? Okay, there we go. What the hell? Well, hello there, Mr. Itinerary Moogle with the flashy looking thing above their head. I've learned never to sit on that bench. I've also learned never to stand up on any of these poles, and I've also learned to never stand on this rock. So, all right, there's a good amount of people here, still doing silly things, music, standing here naked with some person,
And I see people standing on the poles. All right. So there are still people here. Also, don't sit on this bench neither. That's a bad bench. That's a bad bench. Also, do not stand over here and look out over yonder, because then people will suspect you of doing something. Which is the reason why I'm going to do one of these. We're going to let the iCam do all the work. Not the breath, but the lights. They just bounce off the monitors and fly around. I wish that was true, but they're landing on my beard. I don't want them to land on my beard. My beard is thick. I should probably cut it, though. Get out of here! No, there's O2, sir. Listen, CO2 is out there, I swear. Just go out the window. That's what the true stars of this stream right now. People squatted those spots. The thing about those spots that I've just said is that they're all RP spots. Why is my camera pointing at the ass? Camera! Camera! Dude, what the fuck, dude? Can you move from one person to another? Hello? Hello? Could you move? No, he's popular? I cam again. Okay, good. All right. Whoa, look at those headphones. All right. Yo, that's a Lalafell I can appreciate. He's crying now. Well, that sucks. All right. I didn't mean to ignore Zeppla. It went right back to the harpist. I'm not even going to try anymore. No. So much 14 lore I missed in my absence. Yeah, each and every one of those spots is an RP spot, by the way. Every single one that I said in Limsa. If I swear, just go to them, sit at that bench, sit at that rock, sit at the other bench, and stand on a pillar. See what happens. Somebody's gonna come up to you and start doing some weird shit. I'm saying this out of experience and the fact that one of my mods kind of is an RPer, and he knows of this stuff, you know? He's the one who told me about the bench. Bomog Quicksand says hi. Oh no. No. I'm in the same data center as Bomog, so don't tempt me. Your game's cameraman is obsessed with that guy, apparently. We're going to ignore him for now. We're going to go back to Zeppla. All right, Zeppla, distract my chat.
Those before, and we don't now, is because in the past, Eureka and Basha, these exploratory zones, they were tied in with the relic journey. And for whatever reason, not only did they choose to remove these zones from Endwalker completely, but they also removed the relic journey. There is no relic journey for Endwalker.
No relic journey. Nope.
That turning in tombstones each time counts as a relic journey. So let me explain if you're new.
Okay. I'm pausing again. I'm sorry. Has anyone come across somebody somewhere, maybe on a forum, on the internet, maybe not, maybe have friends, maybe you yourself have this opinion that they enjoy the relics in this expansion in Endwalker because they said that they can go off and do something else, or it's not a tedious trek, or it's not some hard piece of crap thing that you need to do? Has anybody ever came up to you and said that? Because I've had plenty. I had plenty of people who came up to me and said, I don't know what you're talking about. The relic journey is more enjoyable because all I really need to do is spend 1,500 toadstones and get my relic. And I'm like, you really think you achieved something doing that? You just spent money on it. You basically just paid to win. I mean, it's not paying to win, but you just paid money to get an item. That's about it, you know? I had that one moment in Boja as well that I will clearly remember when I had the note notes of both Leon and Menenius, whatever, I don't even know how to spell that one, at the same time. Pretty sure people hated me for the mount. Yes, many hate boners were going all around in Boja with people who were just flying around with their rare ass mount. I was originally in Bomog. My instance was ruined. I didn't know it was that type of server when I joined. You poor innocent soul. Well, I guess it's not innocent anymore, is it? You're indifferent. Oh, I only care for relics for the glamour. Oh, okay. Is the relic journey in Endwalker the best? No, far better than Shadowbringers and Stormblood. I'd rather have Heaven's Word and Realm Reward back. You said that before, Steven. And I mean, I agree. I agree there should be something for relic. Is it far better than Stormblood and Shadowbringers? It's, you know, it's debatable. People have their opinions. I like Shadowbringers. I liked Boja, so that's just my opinion. But I've had people come up to me and say that this relic weapon is like their best one because all they have to do is spin tomestones. It's not hard, but disappointed by their safe decision for the Endwalker relic. You and me both. I was born in Bolmog. Oh god, you were born in Bolmog. Oh my god. I was born in Bolmog. You don't know the travesties I've gone through, Batman. The naked furries that I've seen in my life. It's like the role-playing dick sucking that I've ever seen. The twosomes, the threesomes, the foursomes. I've seen it all, Batman. I've seen the darkness. Stormblood was the worst. A Realm Reborn comes right after that. You think a Realm Reborn was... You think the Stormblood was the worst? Interesting.
In the past, in every other expansion of Final Fantasy XIV ever, the relic has been a very special weapon. That has been a journey for you.
So the holy water on the map.
Usually you complete it in stages.
Can we fire the idle cam? No.
Increasingly more cool looking, shiny. It transforms over time. And with each stage, you need to go grind some materials. You need to go, I don't know, farm fates, maybe do some dungeon or whatever to get the materials you need to upgrade it to the next stage. And so it's this long process. It's meant to cover the entire expansion, and it really is. Because
I mean, at this point, it is getting the relic and Endwalker is casual content, and in the past, it is casual content. It's just, you know, it's content. It's something for you to do, right? To work towards, right? Now it's like you're done. You're done. You're done. Like, there was a journey to it, but there's none right now.
Very, very end of it. Very end of the expansion.
ARR White Mage Relic weapon was not special to me at all.
You had dedication and you had patience, so it's a great way for a casual player who maybe doesn't want to raid to get a really cool weapon that they're proud of. Wait,
Sood, are you actually numb to all of that? I'm gonna ask you some questions. You're numb to the darkness. You're numb to the people who come up with, like, you know, long stockings and start doing some motions to grind their whatever's into your face, or they start doing squats on your dead body. You just so happen to be playing dead in a bed. Oh god. Oh no, the visions. Oh Jesus. Random question, Sync, who is your favorite primal? Mine is King Thornton since the very beginning. Heroes OST is so very good, and the fight was easy but epic. Elidibus, Warrior of Light is second. Guys, we found them. Hold on, guys. Look at this. I didn't think we would actually hit this. Look at this. This is not a rare occurrence. I will answer that question. But look what we found. Huh. I wonder where this is. I wonder what these people are doing. I wonder, just wondering how they got down there. Huh. Anyway, my favorite primal is Bahamut because he had like a whole entire, his raid was the most different. It was the first, but it was the most different kind of like raid to me, that you had to go through like this dungeon going deeper and deeper and deeper, and you had to take on like different kinds of bosses at the end of that, or you just go through a dungeon just to get to the end. Like, they didn't want to do that for Alexander. They decided that it was just going to be like, if you're going to walk around, it'll be a short romp before fighting the boss. Which, honestly, just make it bosses. Just make it all bosses if you're going to have a boss for each and every one. But like, there was like an idea there for Bahamut's coils, because I loved coils. Coils was extra special for me because I was there from the beginning. I was there since 1.0. So like, defeating Bahamut in that way, and then the epic showdown with Bahamut, it was extra special for me. Well, Bahamut's my favorite primal. True, but you used a form of primal summoning like Shiva and Thornton. Good pick, Sink. Good pick. Yeah, well, it's, again, emotional attachment. I had something emotional with Bahamut. There was something on the line for me with that one. My second favorite would be Elidibus, the Warrior of Light, and that, again, comes with something emotional. I think Ramu might be my favorite primal. Tati's favorite would be 100% Shiva. Shiva's because Shiva's amazing. Shiva and her story is amazing. It's just a shame that when you go through that dungeon, just in case somebody didn't beat it, I don't know how many of you guys actually beat. I think everybody here beat Endwalker, so I'm gonna say the dungeon where we go and meet Heidelin. I always forget the name of it, but it's a shame that you don't see like everyone that has passed away to be there in that place, that you can actually talk to them maybe one last time, instead of just seeing like, oh, there's their weapon, boom, they gave us a spell, thanks man, and goodbye, I guess, see ya. Don't want to say anything. I mean, the only person who you actually get to see is Minfilia, but like, I wanted to see my whole squad, right? I wanted to see my whole squad. I wanted to have like touching moments. Like, there should be in that dungeon, there should have been like, I think in that dungeon there should have been like maybe a point at the last boss where your friends come through, all of your friends that have passed away and are there now to come in and save your ass, rather than, you know, just Shiva. Rather than just Shiva. I mean, Shiva was great, but like all of them being there would have been great too. And maybe like a cutscene in the end finally saying goodbye to them. That would have been more heartwarming to me. But that's just an idea. That was an amazing dungeon. The music was sad. It was sad, because you were basically saying goodbye to them. That was the whole point of the dungeon, saying goodbye to all of them. They're fated shades. Yeah. I mean, shades or not, it's the land of the dead, so I wanted to, at the very least, at least say goodbye to Moonbreeda. I wanted closure for Oriange. For at the very least, I wanted closure for Oriange. Not just, thank you, Moonbreeda, you always save my life. I'm like, there could have been like a scene. I don't know. Like when you talk to Oriange with his dream marriage with Moonbreeda, it hit him in the heart. Yo, it did. It would have been great if like Moonbreeda told Oriange to live his life or something. I would have been happy. I would have been happy with that. But I'm gonna keep my my eye cam on this, just to just in case maybe one day. So you can't clip on YouTube, can you? You can't clip on YouTube. Damn it, frick. I was gonna say like somebody clips this and, you know, send it over to Square Enix, to Yoshi, and be like, oh, okay. I see. I don't think they can really do anything about this. But damn it. YouTube needs to, at least for their streaming, they should do something like have clips, do something with their chats to make that more fun, have an actual front page so people can search for people that are live, you know, be discoverable. I don't know. Not even going to report this. I want to report that, but every time But oh god, okay, there we go. We paused it. I can't click on them. Oh jeez. I can't click on them. So because I can't click on them, and they're gone. And it's unpaused. Because I can't really specify those people, I don't have their names and I can't click on them. It's kind of useless. So I have to target the person and I have to get their names. This is the only way to really report them. So like if they're advertising something, I can report them. But for the most case, those kinds of things, they're like doing some covert shit down there. I can't touch them. Reporting is a bitch to do. Send this over to one of those 14 clip channels if you know one. I don't even know if there's one that's really popular. I think they learned their lesson with Endwalker, void walking scene. Oh god, what is happening? Jesus, no, don't look at the bottom right, people. This is some weird shit happen. And they changed it to a different angle that I didn't want to see. I am so glad that scene is not blown up. All right, let's pay more attention to Zeppla. Zeppla has a lot of things to say, right? Don't look at the bottom right.
Something to be proud of for sure. It always has been. But this is the first expansion where I have not heard shit from anybody about their relics, because the relics are in the game.
Yeah, it is.
The relics are still in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But to upgrade your relic this time, just turn in tomestones. And it's not even
what the fuck? Jesus Christ, I can. What the? Oh, it's Limsa. It's Limsa. I keep forgetting.
Tomestones, you have enough. And that's it. It's literally a tombstone weapon.
Sorry about my cussing. Sorry about that. I'm an adult, so.
There's no process, really, to get it anywhere. There's no journey. They just removed that completely. Why? Why did they do this? I do not understand. We have...
I can make a conjecture as to why they decided to remove it. And I think it's more or less because they probably did not have the resources to make an entire journey on this one. Because they were being spread too thin, seeing how there's another Final Fantasy that was being made, and their director was paying a lot of attention to it. So, maybe that's it. I don't know.
Tombstone weapons already. Why do we need another worse tombstone weapon? Content drought, like a giant one. And get rid of this thing that also served the very important purpose of keeping people engaged with the game a lot between patches. It's the thing that, like, it gave you something to do between patches. For example,
don't look at the bottom right.
Stormblood, where there was a big content drought, like a giant one, and I'm pretty sure it was End of Stormblood. And somebody had asked Yoshi P, what do we do? Waiting, it's such a long drought. What do we do? Waiting for the next expansion. And he said, "Oh, just get every relic weapon." And people were kind of mad at him at the time. Because it was kind of a cop-out answer, but it was.
It really is. It really is.
That's really what the purpose.
It really is. Relic. I will say the bottom right always gets me. Stop it! Don't look at the bottom right. It really is kind of funny that I think Yoshi P did. I need to find a source for that. I think he did quote that, like. The relic weapon was also supposed to be a way to waste time, or to way to, buy time till the next patch or till the next expansion. But, like, you gotta think about it. This time, it's a nothing burger, and it's kind of stupid. Like, you can casually just get all those weapons without doing much. Why? What in the... This is the stream here. Don't look at the bottom right. Just don't look at the bottom right. Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
Keep you busy waiting for the content. But without that, it's almost like they deliberately are now choosing to not have you play the game between the patches. This is the first expansion waiting for the content. But without that, it's almost like they to not have you play the game between the patches.
There we go.
The first expansion in all my years of playing FFXIV that I
stop looking at the bottom right.
Relic looks like. I don't know. And my friends who normally send me screenshots of, look, I just got the new relic for my job, and oh, I just got another relic. It's usually a thing we are excited to share because it's a big deal. It's like a big milestone every time that you
Turn
get
it off?
and
I
you upgrade
can't.
it because it's hard to do.
The
Nobody
universe
on
won't
this is
allow it.
getting a relic. Nobody's even going after it now because it's not cool, because it's easy to get. It has no value
True.
because it's
True.
just anyone can get it. So what does it mean? What does it say? Why would they remove this? It just
Oh
feels
my
like
gosh.
laziness, frankly. It feels like maybe they didn't even want to put it at all, but they felt like they had to, and they put the lowest amount of effort into it as possible. They really phoned it in.
All
and
right,
frankly,
this all right. Stop going back to that scene. Oh my god. Stop it. Leave those couple alone. I don't even know what they're doing. They're just hugging, but it's just like, it's so weird. Anyway, do y'all really think that they took the low hanging fruit here, to say the least, just for these relics? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, it feels that way, but we can't really say that that's the real thing here. I'm disappointed in the relics, but I don't know how y'all feel about it. Calcor, I don't even think you play the game anymore. How you doing? You're Dialga. Oh my god. If you had to join the army for a Gucci bag, it would seem less gaudy. For a Gucci bag? I mean, if you join the army for a Gucci bag, I mean, I hope that Gucci bag is like worth your life. I mean, oh my god, he's slapping her now. What the fuck kind of... What is going on here? Criterion Dungeons, say hi. I want to do Criterion Dungeons. I really do. You do play the game. Like I said, I'm pretty sure 16 got in the way. It makes you wonder how Yoshi P was able to divide his time. Yeah, I feel that. The designs are really peak, though, but the lack of work for them makes it lame. I'm going after the crafting relics. There's... Yeah, the crafting weapon, or the crafting weapon relics, I think they require a lot more work than getting the Manderville weapons, don't they? So it's like, maybe I should go after that. I don't know. ZG, sure, but let's be honest here. There are like 19 jobs due right now if you go for the completionist route. It'll probably be the easiest 19 relics you have ever gotten. Fortunately, I can't comment, really. The least there aren't around Reborn relics. Literally only finished up one for the glam. I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to be glam anyway, but they're like the coolest looking weapons other than the ultimate weapons. I probably wouldn't mind going for Criterion either sometime. We would need to find time to get together to do the Criterion dungeons. They're not easy. I've done one. I've done the one for the first variant dungeon, for the first Criterion dungeon. I've done that, and it's hard. It's hard. You really need to have your game up there. Dubaldesian Arsenals. Dubaldesian Arsenal. It's really fun. I'll take your word for it. It'll be easier once the next expansion comes out. Oh god, I don't want that. Don't make me think about it. Like, oh, it's gonna be easier, guys. It's like, what do you mean? Well, what the heck's going on in this scene? I think they need more rewards to make it enticing. They have to have... It's not that they need more rewards. What they need is a meaningful reward. Something meaningful. Because, like, that's what the relic weapons were. Right? It just proved that you did something to get that thing. Oh, he disappeared. Well, that's the end of that drama. He's gone.
Because this is not what the relic is meant to be. It is meant to be something to keep you busy for a little longer, but it also feels like, I mean, it's a deliberate choice that they do not want people even logging in that much. They just don't want you to feel like you need to log in at all. It's crazy. Now, the next thing that it pains me to say, because I am an MSQ Andy. I live for the main story quest of FFXIV.
I'm sure you do, Zeppla.
But I have never been more disappointed with the main story quest than I have in this expansion's patches. Now, I loved 6.0. I thought it was great.
Okay, I was about to say.
Left a lot to be desired, and I was really patient and forgiving.
I kind of agree. They kind of blew their chunks all over our faces with just 6.0, and they should have honestly for like each patch. Like honestly, I think what they should have in each patch was lead up to the climax and not just here's everything and then afterwards like we're just gonna slow down a bit. We're gonna get ready for our vacation. Because if they built it up like what the ending is, like say maybe we would have met Heidelin in 6.3 and fought Zodiark in 6.2. Have the whole moon thing and the 13th world be like its own side story, and then like at the very end in like 6.5 or something, then the climax is there and the actual ending is there. That would have been probably a better way to go about it. I don't know. Don't wave at me. Stop looking at the bottom right. Don't look at the bottom right, folks. Between Criterion, 2 ultimates, 2 full raids, a bunch of really good dungeons and trials, Island Sanctuary, and of course 16. The relics being somewhat of an afterthought is more than fine. Kind of disagree with that. Because even if you say between the Criterions, 2 ultimates, 2 raid series, and a bunch of really good dungeons and trials and Island Sanctuary, I still think the relics should have been some sort of journey to finish things off. Because like the matter of speed that these people can play through the Criterions, the ultimates, the 2 full raids, and a bunch of good dungeons and trials, which you don't have to even go back to. The dungeons and trials just become your dailies, and the Island Sanctuary, which is something that you can actually ignore. Plus the variant dungeons, you've got the variant dungeon. The variant dungeons is there too, Calcor guy. Just hoping. What the? Don't look at the bottom right. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Anyway. I think the relic weapons should have had something. Going through Manderville quest line was not the answer for me. It just was not the answer for me. Are they on top of 2 dead bodies? 3 dead bodies? And they're just sitting there chatting? I didn't mention the new DD either. You didn't mention that neither. When people didn't like that there was the blue mage option for the Boja relic, let me tell you, I spent a little time in Boja as I could. With the blue mage option, well, the fact that you can go through that whole thing with the blue mage option kind of was like a thing that I am not going to try to touch on, actually, because I didn't do that. I went through it as plenty of other jobs, just not the blue mage. I should really try to get the rest of the spells for the blue mage, to be honest. Don't forget, we still go we still got one more VC dungeon to go before the next expansion. I didn't know that. Huh. Okay. Should be more for sure rather than just Manderville. I mean, that's just my opinion. Like, I don't think it would take too long if you're going to make, you know, maybe a cutscene, which they did for the Manderville weapons, and then have us go off to, I don't know, go to past past content to fill some sort of gauge or collect some sort of resource that you can only get by doing that one thing or something. But like getting a relic doesn't mean that they have to make a whole new instance. It just like something needs to be there, not just get tomestones and then like spend, like tomestones are so easy to get, man, so easy. I said one day I logged in and I said, man, I want to get my Reaper weapon, my Reaper Manderville weapon, and I spent all of my dailies on a max level job, right? All of the dailies, got exactly 1,500 tomestones, and I got it. And that took a day. That's about it. So like not even a day, maybe like 3 to 4 hours. You thought PSO was bad with this? I don't have expertise in PSO. Like Phantasy Star Online New Genesis is a whole other can of worms that I don't want to go into as of right now. I only want another Heavensward relic grind. So funny enough, people did not like it. People did not like the relic grind in Heaven's Word and Realm Reborn. People just hated it, you know? People really didn't want to do light grinding. People didn't want it. Unless you're being sarcastic about it. Yeah, people didn't like it, you know? It was to give some leeway. The team may have believed that these Endwalker, that base Endwalker was too much, that they didn't predict the hunger for more might have been the bad call. With FOMO. Oh, with FOMO. Okay, I get it. The god. I mean, you want it like gotcha mechanics with FOMO. Oh my god. But yeah, maybe you're right, Steven. I'm gonna say this. They put in a hell of a lot of work for Endwalker. They certainly did. But I don't think they. I don't know if with them saying that. Yeah, we're good with the MSQ. That's it, right? Like, we don't need to make too much more. Let's start slowing things down. I don't know. What are we talking? Gotcha over here? Uh-oh. Let's get back to the video before Yui starts sniping people off the stream.
The first couple of major patches, I thought, well, you know, they're setting up for something else, and we're just getting ready to pivot, and there's meant to be a bit of a lull between what's going into the next thing, and blah, 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 blah. But looking back, I feel like I was just kind of making excuses. And I don't want to say that all of the story and every moment in the whole story was terrible. No, because there were good moments. There was a lot of really nice moments. Like the slice of life moments I thought were some of the better parts. Especially Estinian doing the push-ups. That was really nice.
That was definitely bait. That was definitely bait. Estinian getting sweaty was something for somebody wanted that.
Making the trial series, side series, like we have had with Sorrow of Wirlit or Four Lords in the past, they instead chose to make it the main story quest. They made the trial series the main story quest. We don't have a trial series. We do not have a side series, a story of the trial bosses.
Wait. We don't? Wait, hold on, let me think. I guess we don't. I mean, well, let me see. Let me remember. We have the 12. That's its own raid series, and we have Pandemonium, which that's its own. That's the trial raids, but we don't have. Oh, I see what she means. We don't have like a side story with extra trial bosses. Okay, I see what she's saying. Okay. People are asking for more things to do. Correct. Yeah. No, yeah. 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 I like the idea of Heavensward Relic Grind because it felt like I was affecting the world, and its merchants and researchers felt more impactful than just getting something from a billionaire. I think you could, yeah, I could see what you're saying with that one. It does feel like you're actually doing something with like a team of researchers who wanted to take the weapon and bring it into. Oh, we're back! We're back! We found them again! We found them again! This time I see Team 1 and Team 2 over there. Zillion has to... Yeah, get out of here. Jesus. How did you even get in my cup? What the fuck? How did you do that?
They have just put it right into the main story quest. So that's less content. Not only is it less story content overall for us, but it's way less interesting. Because as soon as we were aware that there were these archfiends at the very beginning of the expansion, we knew exactly what was going to happen. Some people are saying, oh, well, it's just because 6.0 big arc ended, and then we got a new arc starting in Dawn Trail, and so this is just in between, so you can't expect anything good. That's honestly bullshit, because being constrained in time to tell the story usually means that it's going to be easier to tell a good story if you spend enough time really plotting that out and considering it. Like, that's one of the major reasons why I often say Shadowbringers was such a solid story expansion, because they needed to tell the entire story of a planet from beginning, middle, and end within the course of one expansion. there's all these new people you
I
meet,
think
these new
Shadowbringers is
spotlights,
like
and they need to wrap it all up.
maybe
before
my
you go.
second favorite
And this thing is
expansion.
really satisfying as its own package. So sometimes constraining the story
Was that
is
series of
really good.
Shadowbringers
Get all the juice in.
or
better.
Shadowbringers Tears?
But it
Was
feels
the trial
like
then? What was the
they
trial in that one? It was like Whirlit,
really took a lazy path,
I think.
to be quite frank.
So, like, what was in Shadowbringers? Let me think. What was the Shadowbringers trials? So, the raid was near. It's basically near Automata. I think the trial... I forgot what the trial... We had, like, an off trial with... What was the off trial? I think that was Whirlit. And... It was... I forgot her name. But it was the Final Fantasy VIII based. That was our trial there for Shadowbringers. Yeah, trials were Sorrow of Warlit. Yeah, it was Eden. Yeah, I forgot. I don't know why I forgot that name. Like, the vision of all the trials was in my mind. I was like, I fought all these bosses before. And it's Eden. Yeah. All these bots. What's up? More sniper rounds. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking. Eden was the raid. Yeah, I was thinking. I was like, what's the name? It was Eden. So yeah, no, she's I think Zeplo's right. We did get an offside quest that had weapons, which is the Sorrow of Warlit. We had the trials with Eden, and we had for the main raids, it was near Automata. So they combined, I guess. That's what she's saying. They combined it into the main scenario, which is all the Final Fantasy IV bosses that we fought in Endwalker thus far. And Golbez is part of that. Hey Ryu. How you doing, man? Don't forget the Boja 1-2 for Diabol gear. Boja was also part of the Relic quest. They combined the Relic quest with Boja, and Boja was his own thing too. Yeah. Plus, the team thought that Criterion was good enough to replace the side story. Oh no, they shouldn't think that. If they thought Variant and Criterion was going to replace like Whirlit, then they were sadly mistaken. they were sadly mistaken.
They decided, oh well, won't it be so convenient for us to just do callbacks to huge story moments in FF4, try to recreate those. And a lot of times it felt forced, and it felt like we're just artificially trying to recreate this moment from FF4, and I found that to be very frustrating. And we can, instead of having a side story series like Sorrow of Wirlit, which I know that's a tough act to follow, we'll just make that the main story quest instead. That has sucked. The story has gotten so predictable that in the previous live letter, they even told us who the next boss was going to be, because they know that we know. And they did it for the last one too. Usually it's like a big secret, like, ooh, we can't even tell you who the new trial boss is going to be because it's going to be this huge story moment. But that really hasn't happened this time, and it sucks. So
that does kind of suck. You shouldn't do that. Like one for one thing, it destroys like YouTube channels like mine. Like, I was able to get a theory just from the trailer for Dawn Trails, because it's like, oh shit, they're about to implement like Final Fantasy X stuff into it even more, even though they have done it already, but like even more. And YoGP was just like, no blitzball. I'm like, fuck. No blitzball, damn it. But like, damn, man. She's right, though. Telling us what the next boss is kind of ruined it. Oh, we're back. We're back on the bots. We found them. I just wish that they kind of, I don't know, like, it just feels like they're just trying to bulldoze this through. They're trying to go through this as fast as possible so that they can go through Dawn Trail or something. Like, At the very least, I don't know. Lore channels like mine kind of just died out because of it, you know. People were asking for harder 4-man content, and they came up with the criterion. The fans were really talking about like Sastasha Extreme and stuff like that, not a separate raid tier. Give me Hoku Manor harder. Oh, they have Hoku Manor hard, but harder, yeah. Let's call that's what we're gonna call it. Hoku Manor hard. Hoku Manor harder. Hoku Manor hardest. I would love to go through dungeons like that. I would love to have some. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have harder dungeons with better rewards in it, right? Whether it be cosmetic or not. Maybe some sort of minion is in there. Maybe there's like an aesthetic weapon that you can get from that. You know, I'm not asking for mythic dungeons from World of Warcraft. Just harder dungeons. You know, that'd be kind of fine. Hoko Manor, Nightmare, yeah. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's not a bad thing. Like every other MMO does it. Like I don't know why 14 just was just like, nah. Our people are too casual. They can't take it. They can't take it. They already nerfed Realm Reborn dungeons for the trust. They did nerf them. I noticed that. They've changed. Did anybody notice that a lot of the dungeons have changed from a Realm Reborn? Like quite literally made them more linear. Anybody notice that? Like, almost all of them changed. Almost. Some of them, I was like, wait, there was a path here for an optional chest, and it's just like, nope. It's now a pile of rocks. Remember old Totorock? Yup. Hey, remember when you actually had to identify what, what's that Cyclops and, like, we all remember the level 49 dungeon, right? We all remember that dungeon. The one gatekeeping dungeon that was optional. It was optional, I think. No, yeah, it was optional. You didn't have to do it. We all remember that dungeon. We all remember coin. What was it? Coin counter? The Orm Veil, right? We all remember coin counter. Now coin counter is a bitch because you know what? You could see all the things that he's going to do. You could see the telegraphs. Coin counter was specific in my mind. Coin counter was specifically there to teach people to keep an eye on his animation. So it's like, he's about to do that attack. Get away from it where he's looking. Go to the side or something. Boom. He does the laser. And you're like, ha. Bitch, didn't even catch me. And then it's like, it looks like coin counter is about to just spin around with his giant club. Maybe we should back up or go to the middle. But nah, man. They gotta put telegraphs for everything. They like nerfed coin counter so much because people were complaining so hard. And all I can really say to those people is that you better go the way of Dark Souls. You better learn the way of Dark Souls. That's all. You better learn the way of Dark Souls. I think we all know what the way of Dark Souls is. Say it with me. You gotta get good. What your problem is a skill issue. You gotta get good. They stripped him of mechanics meant to help you later. Oh man, yeah, that's true. Get out of here, Nat. What the hell? I think it's interesting that people are saying this is potentially the worst expansion, citing things like content feeling bland, while I feel like a minority who was upset about other things. I think your thing about this expansion and my thing about the expansion, everybody's thing about the expansion, all opinionated, of course. I'm not going to say it's the worst expansion, but it's definitely very dry for me. It's very dry. It's not the worst expansion. I'm not going to say it's the worst expansion. Zeppela is saying it's the worst expansion due to content that is not distributed, which, by the way, let's hear more. Hey, Cherry, how dare you dislike Endwalker, you fake 14 fan? How dare you? I was here since the beginning, Cherry. You better not be saying that to me. I was here since 14 was in the womb. I was there. I am the uncle of 14. No, I said that out loud. That doesn't sound right.
Sorrow of Warlit was absolutely amazing. I cried at the end. That's the Shadowbringers trial story.
Yeah, I did. I actually did feel something for Sorrow of Warlit.
Like
the ending to that, I felt something for that. I didn't cry.
Really easy way out with the main
Well, man.
quests for these patches. The better parts were the slice of life stuff. Zero being a character who I like, and is generally pretty well received. And,
She's gonna be here for this expansion, and she's going to leave.
With the Silence has been some of the brighter points.
She is going to be here for this expansion, and she is going to leave.
But God, it has felt stretched out, and it's felt like a filler, and that has not been fun. That has not really been very engaging for me. Now, the next thing.
Uncle Ruckus, oh my god.
I know, this is rough, man. The next thing, Island Sanctuary.
Oh boy, here we go.
I do not know a single person that is excited and happy with how Island Sanctuary turned out.
Okay, alright, well, okay, Zepla, before you even go on further with that one, I have nothing against what you're saying with your opinion about Island Sanctuary, but, like, listen, there are people out there that love Island Sanctuary for how it is right now, right? Like, I understand those people. For me, it's just like a little romp, and then I'm out, right? So I'm probably on your side with that. But you gotta understand, there are people out there that are like, oh man, Island Sanctuary, man, I needed this. Like, for everything that it's done. Remember, long stuff used to be hard back when DPS wasn't cracked and people would tank the dragon in the healing spit? True. Now it's nerfed to the ground and the dragon doesn't get healed as much anymore. You can literally do that. Uncle Ruckus of 14? Am I? Should I be Uncle Ruckus? Come in, talk to Yoshi P, like, you... No, I can't. I'm black, but I can't do that. Okay, one thing I have to push hard against, every expansion has severe homage to a previous Final Fantasy game, even forced a former side content of Final Fantasy III into MSQ. That's true. Steven, I'm actually there with you. But that's like a minority thing for a lot of people. Like, when I say minority, that's the opinion of a small group of people that don't like it that they pushed the Crystal Tower content into going into Shadowbringers. I didn't like that neither, but I don't know. As much as one of us is bored with the expansion, I'm still having fun doing stuff I've been pushing off. I can see its problems definitely, but the more I think about it, I'm still enjoying it myself. Nobody's trying to take the fun away from you. I hope you understand that. I'm not trying to take it away from you. I'm not trying to say, like, don't play 14. I'm just saying we need to identify the writing on the wall so that more people can talk about it and think about it, so that the devs will actually think about it and do something about it, you know? I don't want people to not play the game. I want more people to play the game. I think people's complaints about the content feeling dry and whatnot are totally valid. My complaints have been mostly from just jobs feeling less and less fun every expansion. I've heard a lot of people talk about that. I have no real complaints about the jobs, honestly. I don't. But then again, I played Dark Knight, Reaper, Sage, Red Mage. And those jobs are quite clearly not having any problems. So like, they said, hey, we need to do something about Dark Knight being a piece of shit. What are we going to do about that? Well, let's give them an ability that they should have had the last expansion and make them top in terms of all raid tiers for about 2 patches. And then we're going to take that shit back. Terry loves the island. It means more content. See? See, Zebla? See? She really pulling the I've never met a person who disagreed with my opinion, so it must be bad? I don't think she's saying that. I think she's going off by her own biases, maybe. Remember the launch of Steps of Faith? Hey, remember Steps of Faith, guys? Remember Giant Dragon on Bridge? Remember how we all complained to hell and back with that, and it took them like 5 years to change it? remember Steps of Faith, guys? Remember Giant Dragon? You know, the dragon that's bigger than all dragons that was in the game. And we're all like, why is this here? Why is this bitch here? That Brave Flax Dragon was the first wall in the game. Because people didn't know mechanics at that time. They did that for lore reasons. I'm gonna try and remember why you answered the lore reasons part. I'm going to say that you're correct, Cherry. I'm going to say you are correct. Until I remember what I was talking about with that. Let's see. I love Giant Dragon on Bridge, though. When that thing came out in Heaven's Word, and people went through it, they were bashing their heads against the keyboard, like, why can't I beat this thing? Nobody, I repeat, nobody, unless they played with their friends or new people or were lucky, went through Steps of Faith and not at least died once. Crystal Tower, they did that for lore reasons, the Crystal Tower raid. I don't think they should mix up something that's supposed to be an optional thing to do, like a whole side story, and then implement that into a main scenario kind of setting. I think that that's forcing people to do something, and it should always just be an option. But they didn't do that. That was pushed in there. They could have found plenty of other ways. They could have said, hey, remember the Crystal Tower? Yeah, we found a way to function it, like ad hoc it, and all we have to do is go under the tower. It was like, oh, but I didn't complete it. It's like, that's okay. We're only siphoning some of the magic. They could have done that, but they said, nah, you got to do the whole entire event. So lore reasons, interesting lore. I say compound to that. I'm okay with that. But in terms of games, as a game thing, in terms of like playability and accessibility, forcing it on everybody, I don't think that was the right move. That's like forcing people to do coils. You don't want to force people to do coils. You don't want to do that. That's like forcing people to do Alexander. You definitely don't want to do that. So, like, as soon as they get the Pepsi Man, they're done. They're like, what the hell is this liquid guy? I can't, like, his fight is too hard. Like, what's going on? They wanted to make a Graha main character so they would make you do it so you know him. Again, through lore reasons, it's very interesting, and I would say yes to it. For a game reason, nah. I think that's kind of just too forceful in that point. Pepsi Man. Yeah, imagine people having to be forced to do Pepsi Man. Think about that for a second.
In fact, even when it first came out, I remember everybody was kind of shocked that, like, oh, because we thought, oh, we're going to go there and it's going to be this relaxing island getaway vacation. And we get there and it's a fucking management sim, like, spreadsheet thing where you need to assign work schedules
No. Okay, I'm going. Okay, all right. You don't have to do that. You can do that. You can do that in Island Sanctuary. But mostly, Island Sanctuary, I think the feature of Island Sanctuary is basically just going out, chilling out on your island and gathering resources like you're playing RuneScape. I don't know. Maybe she's cooking something though.
Robots, and it's just like, what? The general reaction was, wait, we're here to work?
It's the easiest raid though, even though half the time when you get into it, no one seems to know how to go through, because the raid does not, the Crystal Tower raid does not really teach people the mechanics the right way, nor is it very noticeable. So people who are new will eventually just kill the entire raid. So
you level up for several hours, and then when you're done, you can fill out the spreadsheet for your workshop, and you can have that done in
spreadsheet in game
once a week. And then if you're really into it, that's as much time as it's really gonna take. But there's really no reason to do it once you have the mounts and like outfits and stuff that you wanted. It doesn't affect the game at all. really doesn't affect anything else. So there's no reason to go to anyone else's sanctuary. And probably the best thing that they did for it was add it so you could put outdoor furnishings there. So I mean that was okay, but that's kind of not what it was meant to do. Because we have housing. Not everyone does, so that's why this is good, but as replayable content, it's just not it. The Pandemonium raid story was better than the main story quest. There was a couple of weird champ raids here and there, but by and large, I've enjoyed it, and that's the thing I'm probably enjoying most in the game right now. I don't think it compares to Eden, but...
Oh, my chat's cooking. My chat's cooking. What you guys cooking? What you guys cooking? Yeah, gathering stuff, we'll plan out a schedule for the week and grind the red numbers away. I mean, again, I felt as though, like, when you first go out into the island sanctuary, it was a lot of, like, resource grinding, ranking up, basically building stuff on your island. But, like, after that, it just slows down harshly. You just don't really do much with the island anymore. Then they put out a patch, you do the same thing for a couple hours, rank up a little bit, don't add much buildings at all, if not any. So it's a weird champ kind of thing though for Island Sanctuary, because it does fulfill the needs for some people. You know, they really liked it. Like how she says it was all tedium, the island uninhabited, and your goal was to turn into a hideaway. That is true. I just want them to, like, at the very least, instead of more resources to grind, they could say, hey, here's a new plot of land you can put a bunch of buildings on. Like, that was part of the goal. I was hoping for that, to be honest. You don't even do that. You go to the recommended. You cheat, Yui. You cheat for Island Sanctuary. All right, I understand. Not only new players, even players that don't have a sprout that gets everyone killed. People who are, because here's what I imagine for Crystal Tower, Cherry. I imagine that people who have not done it over and over again, did not know the mechanics correctly, then they end up in the Crystal Tower again, not knowing what the hell to do, and then they get everybody killed. But then again, Crystal Tower is so piss easy. All three of the raids are so piss easy at this point. If you, like, die or get everybody killed in the raid because you have no idea what you're doing, I don't entirely blame you. It doesn't really show you and teach you how to play the raid, like, in the best of ways or optimally. Hit the Crystal Tower because no one even knows its real mechanics. I wish they would fix that. But then I also really want a lazy raid to do weeklies. Or dailies, you mean? Yeah, dailies. I mean, true that. Crystal Tower really is just an easy raid. I think at that point, some people are going to probably ask to be able to do Crystal Tower solo. And when that happens, I'm going to say I told you so, but I'm going to cry while I'm saying it. I'm going to cry. I agree. Endwalker does feel dry right now. Content is very varied right now. Previous content didn't have shooting the breeze content like Endwalker does. Like, someone told me that there was just as much content in Endwalker than it is in Shadowbringers, but Zeppla pulled up the point that they don't even have like the side trials, which is an optional like side quest that you can do that you don't have to do, but you can do, like the Sorrows of Werlyt. So it's like, she's kind of right. I mean, they say that the Island Sanctuary, the variant in the Criterion Dungeons is supposed to replace that. And in a way it does. Because variant Dungeons is its own other thing. So, I mean, that person might even not be wrong. Maybe it's like the quality, not even the quality. I would say just like I would say that the content that they're giving us can be, it could just be one and done. I want to say it's not something that keeps us busy. It's something that we can do. Maybe I'm not making sense with that. It is something that we can do, that you can do, and you will do it, but it's not continuous. You don't have to ever really go back. Once you're done Island Sanctuary, you're done. You don't have to go back. Once you're done the variant dungeons or the Criterion dungeons, you're done. You don't have to go back. The only reasons why you would go back to the Criterions is probably for the minion. I think there's a mountain there. I'm not sure. Like, I hope I'm making sense with that. Remember Glazia Labolas? No, I don't. Was that like Eureka or something? I don't remember that. People can always ask for help if they don't know what's going on. See, there's this thing about chat, right? About the rate chat where there are some people who are smart that will ask questions, but then there are people within that chat, within that raid, that don't care, and they will bum rush and force people who don't know to get good. Always shouting the Alliance chat in Circus Tower after beating him on. I hope I never have to see this clown ever again. That you do it the next day, right? Does it always happen? It used to happen to me quite a bit. Get mount for completing all endings. Ooh. I do need to do get all the variant dungeon. For the new variants, I do need to do all of that. I need to get all endings for that one. I already have the secret ending, so I don't have to do that one. I don't have to do the secret ending at the very least. It's because for fans like us, the content in the game is only half of it. The other half is the YouTubers who talk about it, and right now there's no story to break down or discuss. The thing about the story is that the sacred rule for 14 is to never talk about the story because you want people to experience the story. So the point of like story time YouTubers or YouTubers who talk about the lore of 14 is usually ignored. There's the reason why the biggest YouTuber in our community for 14, when it came to lore, is not making lore anymore. That and real life stuff happened. Second boss of Circus Tower, who had jumping mechanics that always get skipped. Yeah. Because you beat it too fast. I remember who you're talking about. Yeah, we beat it too fast. We only had 7 out of 10. Toddy and I are still gotten all the endings. Still haven't gotten all the endings in the current variant yet. We're only at 7 out of 12. Me neither. You're doing better than I am because I haven't played the variant dungeons very bit. I enjoy your lore videos, Sync. My lore videos? I mean, I enjoy my lore videos too. Because my inspiration for all of my lore videos is actually Vati Vidya. I try to do something like him, but he works with a lot more content with a lot less story being told, where 14, they said, here's the story, boop, and they throw it in your face, and you're like, oh, I get it. There's not much hidden. I'm thinking about doing an entire series of like reading the Tales from the Shadowlands and all that stuff. Thinking about reading that and putting up some representation of the story on the screen somewhere. So people don't have to read Tales from the Shadowlands, they can just listen to it. Apparently my voice is really good at, I guess, putting people to sleep, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I want to admit that. But one day my sister told me that, hey, whenever you're reading a story, I feel like going to sleep. And I was like, damn, do all the people who hear my voice really fall asleep? Damn. I don't know if I like that. Watch for lore and you. Sometimes YouTuber matters more than the production value. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Athona. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It does make me feel better. When I say story, I mean people who break down the meanings of events, like about what a scene has multiple meanings or what a character was really doing in the background. That's true. I think my favorite one that I've done something in terms of a story in 14 is probably, and I think I'm one of the very few that had a lot of views on that, but it was Edda. I named my video on that to like Edda's Descent, and it actually got views on that, and people actually wrote forums on it. Maybe you have a calming reading voice. Do I? No, you don't put Cherry to sleep. I don't put Cherry to sleep? Oh, thank you, Cherry. Maybe it's a good thing people fall asleep to my voice. They just throw me on at night and just leave me on. Just say, they're like, oh, I like listening to your lore, Sync. You put me to sleep. I'm like, okay. I appreciate it. What about Zepla's voice? Yeah, Zepla's actually really fun. I actually like Zepla quite a bit. She has varying opinions, but I like Zepla quite a bit. Speaking of,
It's still solid and fine. It's good. It's good. We could talk about the 2-minute meta all day, solid and fine. Okay, but this really, no, we're not going to do that right now. I don't even want to get into it right now because it's a whole can of worms, and it's not going away anytime soon. The Knee-Deep Dungeon is okay. It's not great for leveling, unfortunately, which is one of the main reasons that people do Deep Dungeon over and over for longevity.
oh, I'm gonna let her cook for this. I need her to cook on this.
Where just the replayability is not a thing. It also feels like they didn't add enough things that were fresh and new to Deep Dungeon, which is sad because Deep Dungeon I feel like is some of the best potential for content in the game that has replayability and longevity, and I really wanted them to add better, more involved.
She's actually preaching here.
Like,
She's actually preaching.
I don't even know what. Make it more of a roguelite. I wish they would just be a little bit more creative with it, because right now I just don't know anyone that's interested in it. Leveling up.
Little does she know is that there is a whole entire community of people, which I am part of, that want to do Deep Dungeon solo. And there is a high score board that there is an official board that is made by the people of Square Enix for those who have done solos in Deep Dungeons. I'm on that board. But the problem is that not only is Deep Dungeon just it's not very interesting. It's very niche. And the only reason why I go through it is because I wanted to prove myself that I can do one of the hardest things to do in the game, which is doing Deep Dungeon solo. But the only reason why it's hard is because mechanically it just does not work as a solo piece of content. What they do to rectify the fact that people want to do it solo is throw a potion in there, and they have scaling health so that that scaled health reflects upon the power, or I think it reflects upon the amount of people that's within the party, which if you're doing it solo, it's at its lowest, but all bosses become sponges. All mobs become sponges. They just become sponges for damage. And within the latest Deep Dungeon, they decide, let's put more one-shot, one-hit kills that can kill anyone from frickin' floor 1 to the last floor. Where in Deep Dungeons, the original Palace of the Dead, that shit didn't show up till, like, I want to say after floor 100. Like, when mimics started one-shotting you at floor 150. Or there were mobs that would put you in a vice so that when you did have an encounter with them, they would keep you in place so that other mobs would destroy you. Like, now that they thought for whatever reason that in this new series of Deep Dungeons that every other mob should have a one-shot on you. They should be able to kill you instantly, even at max power, even if you're a tank. It makes no sense why they did it. I guess it makes no sense why they did it. But they did it. That's why it's so disappointing. They didn't try to really change Deep Dungeons. It's supposed to be like a roguelike kind of like side thing, but it's not really roguelike. I mean, it is roguelike. It's random like assortment of rooms, but those rooms are all the damn same. And even if those rooms are slightly different, they're all the damn same. They're big square rooms. There's no difference in size. Like, Phantasy Star Online has better roguelike qualities in it. But, like, I'm gonna say PSO2. But, like, Deep Dungeons is, like... They try to make it as though it's some sort of roguelike dungeon crawler, but it's not. It really isn't. It's so disappointing. Like, I wish... My vision for Deep Dungeons is if they had actual different sized rooms and each and every other floor had a different theme in terms of environment: snow, forest, desert, swamp, deep cave, maybe a crypt, a dungeon, a castle, right? Like, the higher you go in Heaven on High, you'll make it to like a castle at the end or something. The leveling system in Deep Dungeons is supposed to be separate on its own, but like for me, it doesn't feel like you're really achieving anything, and they send you back to level 1 when you start from the first floor. But your power with your level 99 ether pool stuff, that stays the same. Like, there's so many ideas I have for Deep Dungeons. I think I'll have like a different video on it by itself. There's so many ideas. They could turn that into its own game. Maybe dropped equipment, maybe rare legendary items, maybe different kinds of mobs that do something, that does something instead of one-shotting you. Maybe you have different mechanics, different kinds of traps. Maybe actually use swimming for whatever reason. Have swimming for your character, so that could be part of the dungeon. Maybe there's like a whole entire floor where there is no floor, and you have to use like a flying mount. You have to teleport from different rooms to different rooms. Be creative. They just didn't do that.
But your ether pool armor is really a pain in the ass, and it feels like it's not worth it because it doesn't really affect anything.
Yeah, so too kidnapped me for 14.
Incentivize people to do it too. But in terms of content that has come out in this expansion, I'd say Deep Dungeon is all right. Like, it's not that bad. It's one of the better ones. This is the most tragic case, though.
I think they could do so much better with Deep Dungeon.
Because the content is good. Everybody agrees the content is good. The fights are well designed. It's innovative. It's fresh. It's like, oh, you got to think about how you're going to pull the mobs around, and that has been a breath of fresh air, that they have tried to do something new and different. But
Darren, what's up?
They take half measures with innovation. They're afraid to risk too much, change up the formula too much.
She's saying that they're staying safe. She's saying that the reason why it feels like there's a lack of creativity is because they don't want to push it. And what people don't know is that the only thing that they've been really creative about, like, honest to goodness, being creative about, is probably the writing. You have to understand that Deep Dungeons it's not an original thing. That's supposed to be like a mock-up of a roguelike dungeon. That's supposedly what a Deep Dungeon is. It's supposed to be a roguelike dungeon, which is its own mock-up in 14 version. The bosses in the game is also creative, I would say, as well, especially in Savage and Extreme, unless you're like really into it. You just like, nah, these are just simple things. So like when it comes, they said, I once read an article that said that the most creative bosses in MMOs right now is from Final Fantasy XIV. And I don't know how true that is, because I don't play much of WoW in order to verify that. And then I look at RuneScape and I'm like, did they play RuneScape? Like, did they play old school RuneScape? Did they play that? But from what I've seen with RuneScape, maybe they're right. I don't know. I like RuneScape. I do. But I don't know if RuneScape's raids or bosses can be... Maybe they can go toe-to-toe with WoW in 14. I don't know. I haven't done them.
It seems like they were terrified.
Stupidly enough, we still have to finish Heaven on High. I haven't done it neither. I think it's the easiest one.
The strict itemization schedule that they have, where certain types of items drop from the alliance raid and then certain types of items drop from the dungeon, and it has to be the specific item level, and they don't want to change it at all. They don't want to give you anything that's going to drop anywhere else that's going to be different. And I think they're really crippling their game by not providing, if they're not going to do the gear rewards from this stuff, I don't know, like find something else to make people go do. I don't know, maybe related to a relic, but they chose to take that out of the game this time too. People go do. I don't know, maybe related to a relic, but they chose to take that out of the game this time too. So
I say OSRS raids look interesting. Still can't do them yet, but the quests, god damn, the quests in RuneScape are beasts. They're gods. They're gods for the quests for OSRS.
That you've cleared it doesn't mean much. It's a shame. In all my years of playing, I've never seen brand new piece of content.
Wait. Was that the mount for the variant dungeon? Oh, well, we gotta do it now. wait.
So fast. Brand new content.
New Criterion dungeon, another Mount Rokon mount reward. That's not bad. I'll take it. If that's the reward, I'll take it.
And in less than a week, no one cared. In fact, I remember the day that variant, no one cared. In fact, I remember the day that variant and Criterion stuff came out the first time. The Ass and Ass Savage. And I had, you know, taken my time logging in that day. And when I logged in, I saw my friend had already got the Silky mount from the variant dungeon, from clearing all 12 paths of the variant, without even really trying. And so they were actually
no, she ain't wrong. I did the same thing. I got that mount. I have that mount too, but I think I got that mount because I was really interested in the variant dungeons. So, and if anybody wants to do the variant dungeons with me, I'll help them out. So like anybody in chat right now who didn't do the variant dungeons, hey, I like variant dungeons. I'm very willing to do it over and over again if I'm doing it with other people, and I know how to get to the secret boss. So it's like, it is what it is.
With variant, before I could even log in, the same day that it came out, there's no reason to return. You can be done with it in a couple of hours.
That's also true. Frankly, once you're done with it, you're done with it.
In an MMO where you want people to be playing together. But I guess maybe they don't. Maybe they just don't want that anymore. I don't know. The PvP changes and...
You don't even know what that is.
was one of the more positive things that I think have happened in this expansion. But these series, Momstones rewards, the PvP rewards, that was meant to be people engaged with the PvP long term.
Guys, what does that look like to you? What does that look like to you? What does that what does the series 4 look like to you? What is that? What the fuck does that look like to you guys? What does that look like to you? By the way, is that a minion in there? What does that look like to you guys? What is that? Because I totally can't do PvP no more because of just how it is. Oh, you know what it is. You know what it looks like. You know what it looks like. I think you guys know what that looks like, right? It looks exactly like what you think it looks like. You know why? Because it works. It works. You may hate it, but it works.
You can knock it all out in a week or two if you try. So people that do casual, I mean, that still pops fairly often.
What the? Oh my god, that white mage. Oh my god, I can't see what has happened. Oh my lord.
The fun is, in my opinion, and ranked players, they do this in the first couple of weeks and then they are gone. There's no further incentive to do it anymore after that. And
she is so right.
Every time I complain about it, people just say, oh well, if you're playing FFXIV for the PvP, you're playing the wrong game. And I'm really tired of this defeatist attitude, frankly. There's also people who do not want the game to ask you to do more. Let me tell you something. You don't need the game to not have stuff in it for you to walk away when you're tired.
And there lies the problem, ladies and gentlemen. She said the words. She said it like it's exactly what she said. People don't want you, or people don't want the game to ask you to do something. But that's the thing. The game shouldn't be asking you to do something. The game should want you to do something. Like, you want to go back and do it. You want to do the content. you shouldn't have a game ask you to do anything, right? It shouldn't ask you to log in as well. Anybody who's playing like a free-to-play game and you get a daily login, you're already playing a game that's poisoning the well anyway. But like, that's what's happening here. The game is actually asking you, do you want to play? And you're like, I don't want to. And they're like, okay. You don't have to play. You don't have to pay yourself. It's fine. You can go away. You go. Be free. And people were like, but I want to play you. I want to play the game. And it's like, no. We understand you have other things to do. But no, I seriously want to waste time in you. I want to play the game. No. It's fine. You don't need to do it. That's some tasty poisons. Don't worry, I don't think I could save you no more. I'll know if I can give you a lifeline. I throw it straight into Honkai. What was it? What's the new one? Honkai Star Rails. I'm gonna throw you a lifeline, and you'll just look at it and be like, "What the hell is this?" But you think I still play Path of Exile? I'm actually doing the current league right now. Was it you that said that you weren't doing the current league? Wait, didn't you say you weren't doing the current league, or was that somebody else? You said like, I don't think I'm gonna do the current league. Was that you, or is that somebody else? Remind me. Maybe I'm thinking about somebody else. But yeah, I totally agree with Zepla with the PvP aspect, like, and just the game in general. It's not really asking you. It shouldn't be asking you for your time. It should make you want to play the game. It should make you want to play the game.
You can just walk away when you're tired. Unfortunately, the FF14 community has developed a little bit of a reputation for not being able to take criticism at all. And this is really damaging to the game as well. We need to be able to discuss when things don't feel right, they don't feel as good as they used to be. And I almost feel like people want to say that they're burnt
Oop.
out because it's easier for others to accept than for them to say, the content this time wasn't fun enough for me. The content didn't make me want to play. The content wasn't something I was excited to do. It's almost like that in itself is a taboo for some people to say. And
there are people in the community who are so like into this game. I want to say, I'm trying to be nice about it, but they have some very toxic relationship with 14 where you can't say anything bad about it. You just can't. They're so drinking the Kool-Aid that they can't really criticize the game. They just accept the shit that it is. And there are some, and there is a good minority, I'm gonna say, that will try to gatekeep people who says anything bad about 14. We have a problem with that. They may be a small amount of people, but they are very loud.
And it's easier for them to accept, well, maybe it's on me. It's just I'm personally tired of the game. And I think in a lot of cases, maybe that's...
And she's right about the, saying that it's a burnout, but it's not burnout that you're having. It's it's just, you don't want to play the game. It's not burnout. You'd play the game if you had something to do in it, but it's not burnout.
Because I've never seen this many people claim to be burnt out, and I think it actually has a lot to do with the content more than people are willing to admit. And I'm tired of hearing people say, whenever we bring up these complaints or any kind of criticism about the game and why I want to be able to play it more, but I can't. I'm tired of hearing people say, well, we don't want this to be a game where it's just this huge grind where you need 30 hours a week to stay up to date. No one is saying that. Stop jumping to this huge extreme conclusion. I hate that people keep doing this. It's driving me crazy. Like, just because I say that I would like the lightest possible pressure to please maybe log in today or this month.
People are so frail now. They can't tell the difference between actual hate and creative criticism. True.
Renowned grinds. I don't want that. No one wants that. No one's asking for that. So stop saying that. What we are saying is that we want to play together. We're
feeling ADD and we're looking for something to do.
At least for maybe 1
okay.
to 2 weeks.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
I know if you're saying ADD as an attention deficit disorder, I know that's like, you're being We're being facetious about it. But for people, I say it's more simpler than that. I think people are just, they don't have chill, right? And what I mean they don't have chill, I mean they're not patient. They're not going to be patient, right? I mean, saying that they have ADD is a funny way of saying it. I have ADHD, so in medical terms, you know, right, I was diagnosed with ADHD, so I know what it means to, like, you know, veer off in terms of like having an attention deficit disorder. I don't have that. Can't think of the word I want, but we have a lot of built up energy to spend and nowhere to spend it. The simple way of saying it is that you're very charged up. You have a lot of energy. It's like what you said. You have a lot of energy. We don't know where to throw that energy. So we're always looking for the next thing to do. But the problem here is not, I don't think it's so much as the problem with the game, but the gamer and the player. We are mostly raised by like companies nowadays, and whether they like it or not, even good games, we are raised to want the next thing. They call us consumers for video games, and I don't like being called a consumer for a video game, because we're not consuming the video game, are we? We don't absorb the video game into our bodies and souls. Like, I'm not Kratos. I didn't play God of War, both games, and enjoyed it and consumed it. I'm not God Dad. I will go back and play that game whenever I want. I didn't consume God of War. I'm not consuming 14. I'm playing 14. I'm entertaining myself. So I am not a consumer. I am a customer of that company. I am a buyer of that product. I'm not a consumer. And that's like the first thing that we have to try to get out of our heads, I believe, so that we don't have this mindset that we should be playing a game, then we go to the next. Playing the game, go to the next. Play the game, go to the next. Because we have a buildup of a lot of something that we want to throw out into the air. So every time a new game comes out, it's bam, done, next. I mean, criticism is fine. I personally stopped playing 14 when Stormblood was current, but the criticism that you got a B plus for a grade or a D for your grade, I mean, Stormblood is my least. Actually, it is. It's my least favorite expansion, but it's not like it made me quit. There was a point in Stormblood where there was absolutely nothing to do until Shadowbringers came out. Absolutely nothing. There was nothing to do in Shadowbringers. Or sorry, in Stormblood. In Shadowbringers, I seem to have something to do all the time in Shadowbringers, and I seem to have something to do all the time in Heavensward. But I didn't have a lot of things to do in Stormblood because I didn't like Eureka, so that was my bad. That was my fault. Nom nom video game nom nom. Guys, shut up. But she makes a point here.
I don't want to see people falling off and saying they're bored. Like a week after patch. This is not normal. Okay, I've been around playing this game for long enough to know what's normal and what isn't, and this isn't. I'm seeing really unhealthy signs right now, and I think this lack of attention to the game from the devs, that's really what it seems like. It seems like laziness. And
I still think I'm still thinking the resources was taken to 16. I still think that.
Now, I said I don't want to be a doomer, and I don't think the game is dying, but these are things that we need to nip in the bud before they get out of hand. You need to be able to admit whenever the content itself is just worse. It's that simple.
We're getting what we paid for, but with so many players to tend to, I could see why it's hard. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the goose laying the golden egg. It's usually pretty damn good. And I'm willing to accept that it's impossible for any game to keep your attention nonstop all the time.
That's because games weren't meant for that. Games were meant to be like a source of entertainment when we have the time to have that source of entertainment. We keep forgetting that video games is essentially a digital toy that we entertain ourselves with when we have the time. And because of how gaming is today, where having the retention and the attention and the retention of players all around the world, they're making games on that. Like they're saying, oh, you're going to be spending hours, 100 hours, and it's going to be replayability, and it's da 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 da. Like even Baldur's Gate is guilty of that. As good a game as that is, they want your time. They want your time, and some want your money quite a bit more, but they want your time, definitely. Like, I don't believe there is such thing as a forever game, but every other AAA and other people who are trying to make an MMO or going into live service, they want to make a forever game or a game that lasts 10 years. And that's not what you should be going for, honestly. Video games are supposed to be fun. Here I was thinking Switch Bowling was all about competition. Competition could be fun. Even 16 feels unfinished, like with the crafting portion of the game. A lot of 16 feels like it was just like a dumbed down action fantasy adventure game, in my opinion. It's not like I didn't enjoy my time playing 16. It's not like I didn't enjoy the story of 16, but I think they focused a lot on the story rather than the gameplay, I felt, when it came to 16. Like even 15 had to ride in with your buds in an open world. Semi-open? It was an open world. I think it was an open world. But I like the open world portion of 15. I despise the last part of 15. I did not like it. And I also did not like the ending of the story neither, because I guess there was supposed to be some meaning to the ending of 15, and I didn't like it. Like, I don't know what it was during that time. Maybe it was the year, but a lot of like Japanese games had that similar ending where it's the noble sacrifice, or the main character dies, or people die for your sake. And it's like, why is it always got to be some doom and gloom? Jesus. Can we have like an ending where people actually have an ever after? Like, come on. They wanted to make 16 more like the newest AAA games, or more movie-like, a lot of action. I hope games and AAA games don't veer towards being a movie, because movies nowadays, and at least in the United States, is kind of failing. Have anybody heard that Disney is trying to get themselves bought out by AT&T? The day that happens, we're like, really? Jeez, man. I think no one really likes open interpretation endings either. Well, I don't. I think in terms of my opinion, I don't like open-ended endings. I don't like it. I love Lelouch of the Rebellion. I don't like the ending. So that's what I have to say. I just spoke anime terms to you. I don't know if anybody knows Lelouch of the Rebellion, but that's one of my favorite animes, but the ending just sucks. Hate to say it, but normies like to movify everything, and they are stupid for. Sorry. I said that. That was wrong and rude of me. I shouldn't have said that. They are ignorant to actual quality. I should say that. Having your game be like a movie is how you end up with The Last of Us. All right. I like the first Last of Us. That is still going to be a masterpiece in my heart. Code Geass? Yes. Yes. Code Geass, yes. One of my favorite animes of all time. I love Code Geass, but like, it's not my favorite anime. It's one of my favorites. Like top 10, top 20. Last of Us is also a good story and a fun game. It's very linear, of course, but I still love the game. I like the first one. The second one poisoned the well quite a bit. Then they went back, remade it again, remastered it again, called it Part 1. Like, what the hell? Disney is trash, same with Netflix. I can't deny that right now. I can't. Disney is kind of trash. Netflix is kind of trash. Even on YouTube, like, they have Paramount Plus on YouTube, and it's literally $5 for Paramount Plus, and I just watch Paramount Plus on YouTube if I want to watch something TV-like, or the free movies that they have. Like, god damn it. Bob Iger is really desperate for your time and money. Bob Iger can sit in a corner and suck on his thumb so he can think about what he's done. Same shit, different toilet sink. I'm going to tell you now, The Last of Us is really, really bad. Not the first one, and I will stand. I'm not on the hill. I will sit in this chair to say it. Just the first one. The first one, I actually like the first one. Okay, the first one I actually like. All right, not because it did anything amazing with its gameplay. I really like the story. I just like the story. So you can criticize me what you want. I like the story. Yeah.
That's not what we're asking for either. But what I do want is to not see most of my friends say things like trail. Now, some people are saying, "Oh, well,
Wait, what'd she say?
because they
It skipped.
were so busy working on an FF16." What I do want is to not see most of my friends say things like, "Well, I guess I'll just come back in Dawn Trail." Now, some people are saying, "Oh, well, it's just because they were so busy working on an FF16 that they had to cut some corners here." I don't know if that's true, and frankly, I don't care. Because the fact is,
That could have been true. I don't know.
and if a lot of people feel that way, then it's unacceptable. Maybe Yoshi P's attention has been divided. I mean, he is on the board of directors. He tried to get off it, and they won't let him for some reason. He has been working on FF16.
Naoki Yoshida tried to quit Square's board of directors, but the company wouldn't let him. They're like, no, Yoshi, wait, hold on. Yoshida, listen. You are literally holding the entire company on your shoulders. Please don't quit. And Yoshida's like, bruh, I got a life. Please let me go. I got a life. And they're like, no, you saved the company. Why are you trying to leave? I just want to make a video game and go back to my wife. I have a wife? Can I go back, please? I may be hiding it with all the rings on my finger, but I have a wife and a life. Let me go. We don't talk about the Halo series? No, we don't. I don't know what you're talking about. One of the two people on Earth that didn't want a sequel to The Last of Us. Now look. You cannot leave, please. I always thought that like him being on the board of directors would, help shift things. But what really is going on with Naoki Yoshida on the board of directors, he's literally the wall protecting 14 from NFTs. That's what I think. That's what's actually going on here. Like, as long as Yoshida is sitting there saying, listen, I don't want you guys doing anything to 14. If you try to make an NFT out of 14, we're gonna have a problem. And then they're like, you know what? I think he's making us a lot of money. Maybe we shouldn't let him go. And maybe we shouldn't touch 14 with NFTs. And then Naoki Yoshida was like, all right, guys, I think you get the point. So I'm going to go leave. I'm not going to be part of the board of directors anymore. I'm going to go back to my job. And they're like, you can't leave us. You can never leave us. You've signed the contract. Naoki Yoshida, you have signed the contract. You cannot leave. I can't. Will developers of Square Enix is saying for him not to leave the board because they know they will do something scummy. I swear, if that was the case, if like Yoshida's just sitting there being the wall for the rest of Square Enix, I would one feel sad for him, but at the same time I'd be laughing my ass off, just like, wow, the truth is clear. Meanwhile, the bots are gone. The bots are gone. They'll be back. Trust me, they'll be back.
And he's trying to do direct producer of FF14.
See, they're back.
They're working this man too damn hard, and he needs to
True.
And everything else.
They are working this man.
His attention split on and focus on FF14. Give it his full, undivided attention for Dawn Trail, because I don't ever want to hear anybody saying again, making excuses for them as to why the content seems worse this time around. The main point I hope I can really get across to you in this video is that this isn't black and white. It shouldn't be a choice between so much pressure to log in that there's like FOMO even. You have to log in right now or you're missing out. There's somewhere better to be between that and we're not asking you to do anything. So why do you care? I guess you need to think of your own reason to care. And most people don't, because they're constantly being barraged on all sides by a million other games that are working very hard to give them lots of reasons to care about logging into those other games. and people have a limited amount of time. And I'm sorry to say, but FFXIV needs to fight a little harder for people's time and not take it for granted that people will just always come back and always play. And like, yes, maybe they will for the expansions, but what about the rest of the time? One thing I would say also as another little addendum, DSR was probably the best experience I've ever had in gaming.
Huh.
Clearing DSR.
They moved under the crease, Aetheryte. Look at that.
The most fun I've ever had in a game, period. It was phenomenal. It showed me just how amazing battle content in FFXIV can be.
Wait, hold on.
It was clearing DSR, the ultimate raid that came out in Endwalker.
Okay.
The most fun I've ever had in a game, period. It was
really
phenomenal. It showed me just how amazing battle content in FFXIV can be. It showed me that the game can be so thrilling and so engaging and so exciting when the battle content is designed around what you need to do and keeps you like invested and engaged and like your choices matter. And if you, that was so incredible for me.
I need to start trying to, ooh,
how good the game can be. And maybe because of
shouldn't have shown me that.
I continue to set a very high standard for it, and I want them to do the same. Now that is
I need to start doing ultimates.
I have to say about this topic, but the next part of this discussion is about the casual experience, and that's going to be my next video, because what I've noticed is seems like some people like to say, oh well, it's all for the casuals, they're just dumbing down the game for the casuals. And I got news for you. The casual experience is really suffering as well. And so I'm going to be talking about that in the next video.
Yep.
And I know some of y'all are not going to be happy that I made a negative video or critical video. But the next one is also going to be pointing out things that can improve. So really,
you want to know? I'll show you the likes to dislikes on this.
Constructive criticism of the game. We need this. We all need to get real cool about it real quick if we want this game to really thrive, because we need to hear from all sides, we need to hear from all perspectives, and I can hear the canary in the coal mine is what I'm saying, and I want positive change. And so we're never going to get that if we just plug our ears and close our eyes and act like, oh, everything's perfect all the time. That's stupid. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Please tell me about your thoughts on the Endwalker patches. Have you been spending this time putting 200 hours into Baldur's Gate 3 like I have and so many other people have? Is there like, what other games are you playing? Or maybe you're still going.
Why did my duck blow up? Because you didn't type anything.
You've created your own self-directed goals that have kept you entertained. If so, please let me know all about that in the comment section down below. Again, I want to reiterate that many people are having fun with expansion. It's not like the worst game ever. It's not like it's horrible now. I would never say that, and I don't believe that. There have been good things. But FFXIV is a game that has set a very high bar across all of its expansions. And I've been playing for a long time, keeping up to date with every story, every major patch. And this one has felt different. Okay, it's felt worse, frankly. So yeah. Thanks again for watching. If you like this video, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch. You can also support the channel for free by clicking the subscribe.
Oh wait, she's advertising. Okay, sorry, Zepla. This is not your stream. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Out of everything between going back and forth between my comments and me talking to you guys and Zepla explaining things that I do agree with most of what she says here. There's some things that I do not agree with, but for the most part, I'm on her side with this. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? I think we talked about the main gripes that everybody has with Endwalker right now, but this is a repetitive thing that we're going through with 14 every time. Strong start with a new expansion. Then when we get to the post games, it's, you know, we have what we need to do and what we need to do for the like next maybe few months. Then more patches come out, and sometimes it's a make or break. You know, some people are for, some people are not. I'm not really into Ultimate. I should really get into Ultimate. Period. I guess I need to finish up the new variant dungeons. That needs to be done as well, so I can get my mount from there. But Beyond that, I do believe that Endwalker, honestly, it's pretty mid when you take into account of the post game. It's pretty mid. Like the beginning was strong, but the thing is that they blew their chunks way too early. Can't comment. Just wanted to swing by. Been missing a few of your streams. I had fun. Thanks for dropping on by, Ithonra. Like, you know what? You could just come by a little bit more. Lurk, type H every now and then. I'd appreciate it. Honestly, I'd appreciate it. Like, Zepla is one of the few Final Fantasy streamers that is kind of genuine. So I still like Zebla, obviously, but like, I wish I'm kind of jealous of her. I wish I had that success that she has. I wish I was as entertaining as she is. Just want Kaiten back. Listen, Ryu, I'm with you. I honestly, I kind of wish that they didn't have to screw with samurais all too much. I guess it was kind of a power balance thing. I don't know. I don't know why they took Kaiten away. I have no idea. Maybe because people think it was too hard to play the game. I don't know. That's Square Enix for you. No! I don't know if Square Enix was like, yeah, let's nerf Samurai to the ground. Well, actually, they're not nerfed to the ground, man. Like, Samurai is still one of the strongest, if not the strongest job in the game, next to Black Mage. As a Scholar Main, I want Kaiten back too. You got supporters. Look, Ryu, you got supporters. Look at that, man. You got supporters. Are other Sams that love it gone? I don't know. That's not my fight. This is not my fight. I'm not a Sam main. I'm not a Samurai main. I like Samurai, but I'm not a Sam main. I can't comment on it. I just can't. We need less skills. We need less skills. Interesting. We need less skills. I think we have the right amount now, and if we get any more, we would be bloated with skills. I think they should start, like, they've been doing it. They've been evolving skills. But I think they need to come to a middle road with that. Kaiten meant nothing to me. Yui, you're a red mage and a paladin. Of course it's going to mean nothing to you, buddy. If you think about it, and I'm not one of them. Let me see. You're not one of the Sam mains, huh? When you think about it, felt like dark art spam, to be honest. Dark art spam? I mean, the dark art spam, I can honestly understand. Nobody wanted to press an extra button. They wanted to save time on pressing that extra button. You might as well just make it a passive buff anyway, so I get that. I get why they did that with dark arts. But you know what they could have done with dark arts? They could have made, like... Well, actually, no, they did do that with dark. No, I'm fine. I'm fine with dark arts as it is right now. Still keep it in my on my hot bar for copium dreams. Wait, do I still have mine? I might have mine too. I don't know. The thing with Sam is that rotation really never changes. It really didn't. It really doesn't. Spam dark arts way more than I did Kaiten. True dat. Trade things we have too much right now even. I can understand that too. There are some buttons that I don't even use anymore. Play a while and tell me what skill bloat means. Wait, zip it, I played Sam as well? Wait, what? You're telling me to shut up just because you played Sam as well? Listen, I don't have a fight in this. I don't have a fight in this. I'm not a Sam main. And you saying that you are a Sam something. Nah. I don't see a lot of you being a samurai, Yui. You always coming up to me and you're like, man, I can't believe Red Mage has changed and such, and damn it, Paladin got nerfed again. And I'm like, it's okay. They'll eventually buff Paladin because they go too far. Dark Arts animation was hilarious. Lalafels made them levitate 3 feet off the ground. I remember that, actually. They would go they're like off the ground because the player model has a center point when they use the skill, and it's like, wow, that is hilarious. Congratulations, you've created the darkest Lalafell. Oh, you played Samurai quite a good amount in the expansion that they debuted in? I get that, yeah. So did everybody else. Red Mage barely ever changes. It finally did change in Endwalker where they were like, oh wait, Flare and Holy, that should be an AoE. Man, I'm glad we thought of that. It's like you should have did that in Shadowbringers, and yet you didn't. Like anybody used Flare and Holy and was like, you know, that should be an AoE and not a single hit, like a single point ability hit. It doesn't seem to be right. What's next? Warrior becomes immune to death next expansion. They're already kind of like that now. So some healers are like having a great time with Warrior healing themselves. Some healers are just like, what the hell? Why does the Warrior not need my healing? It's like pressing button on Samurai and Bard. They make it the good chemicals in my brain. The dopamine hits hard. All right, let me show you Zepla's like to dislike ratio on this video. Let me get right on that.
See.
Okay, so let me show you guys real quick. Where is it? There it is. Love playing Warrior, ignoring my healers like deeds, especially when they need to AFK shortly, and when they come back, the boss is dead. It's like, how'd you do that? Well, you know, I have a lot of healing abilities, and healer's like, well, then what's the point of me? And the Warrior's like, exactly. What is the point? All right, so down here, you may not see it, but there's a little bit of like people not really liking it. Not really liking it here. A little bit of people, a little tiny bit of people who disagrees, didn't like the video. So you got a little flack for that. I'm sure there are more people agreeing with her in here. I'm not gonna go through her comments because there's 2,000 of her comments in here. I wish I had this number right here. People though, a little bit of people, little tiny bit of people. Reaper Dancer and Scholar are best. Reaper, I agree. I don't know about Scholar and Dancer. I don't know. I did Expert not too long ago and tanked the first wave as Reaper because the tank was AFK for 5 minutes. That's a really bad tank. Should have kicked him out. Should have taught him a lesson. Some healers got mad at me for using Clemency at 4% health. I mean, if you have the ability to heal yourself, why not use it? Right? Like, come on. Come on. Healer got mad at Cherry once when playing Paladin because Cherry used a skill that made it so Cherry didn't take damage for a few seconds. Wait, did you either Clemency'd yourself really good or you basically just use your invuln, so I mean, yeah, it's in your kit. Kind of like what Argus is saying. It's always going to be a few people not liking anything. Very true. Very true. People got so bad when a full tank team beat Ultimate. Like Ultimate, alright, so like a full team beating Ultimate is kind of cool. I don't know why people were mad about that. I think that's impressive. People shouldn't be mad at that. People should be like, oh, that's kind of fun. Like, what the hell's your problem? Well, why not? You know what? You know what they should have done? They should take out Ultimate with full team of healers. See if they can do that. And then they're they're like, see, we got healers this time. Oh my god, I would love that. I will love to see the like someday in the future full team of healers be ultimate. I would laugh and see like all the negative content. Like, what the hell were they thinking? You don't like Huey, you don't like anything that moves. Nah, that's not true. Huey has his standards. Runs away in fear of Huey's rifle. Uh-oh. They're only mad because they couldn't do it? I think people are just stupid with their gatekeeping ways. This is the same. I hope it's not the same people, but this is kind of like the same scenario when like WoW was having its they were having what was it? WoW refugees coming over to 14. Right? Remember when that was happening? They were having an exodus of players moving over to another MMO, a rival MMO. And then a bunch of 14 players, very minor, not a big group of them, were like, go back to your own game. You can't come over here. This is our MMO. You're just a bunch of WoW players. Meanwhile, people who had logic was like, what the fuck's wrong with these people? What is going on? It's like, they don't really like playing World. It's like, they don't like playing 14. They don't even know how to play. And I'm like, they probably play better than you. So, like... Oh man, that was some fun times with a sniper healer, kind of like that one character from Xenoblade Chronicles. Got her name. There's still a lot of people from WoW that are still playing 14. Yeah, like Zepla. Zepla was a WoW player. But does require a degree of skill to pull off an all-tank party for an ultimate. I mean, yeah. The fact that they did it with a whole tank team is very impressive. I don't know why they thought it was like, that's something to hate on. It was silly. Ultimate didn't matter. We want fresh blood. I think the latest ultimate, I forgot, was that DSR? Yeah, DSR. Well, that ultimate, I really want to like work my way up to. I heard it's the hardest one out of all of them. But there's like an alternate timeline story part of it. Main reason Asmon doesn't stream 14 anymore, because of like the 14 community is a bunch of sycophants. Sycophants? Degenerates? No, sycophants. Sycophants. You know what I'm trying to say. People who are like so into the game, it's their life. You need to calm down. It's just a video game. Stop trying to say Asmongold can't play a video game. He can play whatever he wants. Because haters gotta hate. Haters gotta hate. They're not gonna hate. They gotta hate. Omega is the latest? Omega? No. I'm wrong. Not Omega. No, the latest one has you basically going through the entirety of like a combination of a alternate timeline Heavensward. You're fighting King Thornton, dragons, people, what was it? The table, freaking King Thornton and this 12 Dragon Song, yeah. That one is supposed to be the latest ultimate, and it's supposed to be really good. But really hard. That was the most recent. Those are actually the hardest, though. DSR is the hardest? Oh. Top is the most recent. Let me check something. Cherry loves the Lala chair. It's cute. Cherry loves the Lala chair. It's cute. Bringing up bad blood. Get out of here, Nat! for like the last billionth time. I shouldn't have left that window open. Playing 14 on a regular basis is fine, but the need to defend it at all costs is mental. I think the fact that these people play it all the damn time is probably one of the biggest problems here, because these people have no idea how to live outside the game. That, or they're too absorbed into the game. They need to play another game. That's what they need to do. Play some Mario Brothers or something. People need to learn to take a chill pill, but that's a hard pill for them to swallow. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You right. You right. You right. You ain't wrong. You right. Oh, you guys found me. Well, look at that. Well, look at that. Yeah, I've been standing here just witnessing the eye cam that is Limza Liminza. Also, people playing 14 that believe Savage Raids and Ultimate Raids ruin the game. Who are these people, and why do they exist? Why do they say these things? I'm gonna check and see if there was any videos that I missed. So give me a second here. Let me just throw on some music. Change it here. Force them to play Mario Party together, they'll never play video games again. That is true. They will probably never play video games again. So let me check and see if there was like any more videos out there that I missed. Of course, if you guys have suggestions on videos, then on YouTube, unfortunately, you have to go to my Discord and leave it in the videos to watch tab, because apparently YouTube does not have a, they're not connected to the media share, unfortunately, so that's just gonna have to be what it is. That's kind of funny looking, but I'll leave that as a video to watch later. So I'm gonna save to watch later.
Hello everyone, today I want to talk about
level up fast. Job for alt guide that was 5 months ago. People still need guides like that. 14 alt job leveling guide to 90 tips for beginners. Oh yeah, of course they're gonna have that. Have you seen the Joe Cat Craps Guide to D&D series? I did not. I've only seen his Final Fantasy series. Guys, we got 6 people watching. We've got 6 people watching. Let's keep going. Yeah, boys. Let's make it to 12. And then 24. Let's see. No, I don't think I'm really missing anything in the Final Fantasy space. I think that Zepla's video was the only one that was really important. And it's the only one that was really important. While Refugee learns about 10 types of Final Fantasy XIV players. From Lucy Pyre. I'm pretty sure Lucy Pyre is a great representation of 14. And you know what? That's probably true. Data center travel is destroying 14. Data center travel is destroying 14? You know what they could do about that is connect the data centers together in some form or fashion. You know? But that's probably too hard for them. Run your last job to get to level 90. Go for it, Argus. Do you get them? I think you get it. No, you don't get a mount. Do you get a mount for all level 90s? I think you do, right? You get a mount for all level 90s? Full series playlist. Full series playlist has been posted. You had 9, but 3 of them left. I had 9, but 3 of them are left. Oh, for you, you had 9. To make a leveling guide for new players in 3 words. Play the game. Okay. The 3 words every 14 player doesn't want to hear but needs to. Read your tooltips. True. Why don't people read tooltips? I mean, the data center thing is a new video, but with some stuff it caused, it has helped a lot too. It's helped, but I don't think blaming the data center for people not being in parties. I think you shouldn't really blame that. I think you need to look at the design of how they construct the data centers and how, you know, segregated they are. They try to rectify it, of course, by allowing you to go to different data centers, but there's restrictions there that I wish wasn't. Data center travel is the best thing that ever happened to 14. I think they should just I think that's like the right thing to do, to have data center travel, but they should kind of be a little lenient on the restrictions there. So, I mean, you're right. I agree with you, Cherry. All level 90 combats get you a headgear. That's it? Not a mount? I don't think I like that. On the subject of DC travel, Yoshi P has said they have it working. However, due to cultural differences in the way people do things, he doesn't want to fully connect. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I should be specific. I don't know about connecting data centers from different regions, but within your own region, you should be able to connect and not have a huge amount of, the restrictions. I think you should just data center travel, and the only things that you will not be allowed to have is, like, honestly, maybe you shouldn't have, no, you definitely shouldn't have your retainers. Your retainers should stay back in the other data center, and you shouldn't be able to use the market board, because then you're taking stuff out of that data center and putting it into another data center, unless they open it up, and then that'll fuck up the economy, so don't do that. That'll hugely fuck up the economy. So, like, the only restriction, I mean, those are the restrictions I can understand. They gave Hrothgar and Vera all headgear access. Anyone would shut up and about nothing to do. There's a mod that fixes that, and I'm surprised they haven't figured that out yet. What I posted in general chat in 14 is what you get for all jobs at level. I'm going to check my Discord right now. Let me check my Discord right now. The Great Starfield Pronouns Meltdown. I don't know if I want to play that. I don't know. Videos for reacting. If you guys have not joined the Discord yet, and, like, main purpose of the Discord really is just to throw videos in there. If you guys want to, you don't have to really interact too much in there. But a headgear, great headgear. That's fine, I guess. They should allow you to enter solo instances while being in a party. That would be good for new players who like to play through the MSQ with friends. I think being able to go through solo instances with a party would mean that they would have to change some things up. I agree. I think that would be a fun idea, but I don't know if they'll be able to do it, because that means that they would have to literally have the lines of code and find it in their spaghetti code that they have. No, they could probably do it. No, they could probably do it. They probably don't want to do it. The least played jobs in Final Fantasy, the 5 most played jobs in Final Fantasy by Sting Knight. I see that there. Have you know I take full advantage of Ether's poor economy and undercutters to catch up on gear. That's crazy. Let's see. Oh, the playlist. Crap Guide to D&D 5th edition. Barbarian. Oh, you did it in game? That's it? That's all you get for getting everything to 90? Bro, you got a mount. In the last expansion, you got a mount. That's all you get? See, that's a problem. Actually, I actually already saw Path of Exile was ruining Diablo 4 for me. I already seen that. Crap's Guide to D&D. I'll have to watch that later. And I already saw the Crap's Guide to Magic DPS. I already seen that. RuneScape community will never be like it was. That's RuneScape. That's Sonic. Yeah, we don't have any other videos on there. Solo instances should stay solo, but so that you don't need to leave the party when doing a solo instance. I don't know. Maybe they can do something about that. I'll be honest with you, it wouldn't be too bad if they could try. Tips for every beginner. See, here's the thing. The most amount of views people get for something Final Fantasy based, Final Fantasy 14 in 50 seconds, and they put a whole bunch of cat girls in the front. And I got like 1 million views. Of course it did. Is it a YouTube short? No. It's just really good animation. Okay, I can appreciate that. Previously watched. Apparently competitive Pokemon is pay to win. 14, but I can't leave Limsa. How do you even win that game? This ain't RuneScape. Oh, apparently Asmongold found Earth in Starfield. And he's dropping down on Earth. And Earth is just a barren wasteland. He's like, is this because of global warming? So Earth is a barren wasteland in Starfield. That's a missed opportunity. Treasure trove, 1 hour, the longest grind in Final Fantasy. An hour, 1,000 hours, 5 years. Don't waste your time. How Final Fantasy's richest players actually make. Gil, I actually saw that, and I actually know what it is. Yeah, I did see Wrath's Gaming. Wait, you watch his video? Hear, feel, fish. Wait, oh no, because I looked at the preview for a little bit. That's why it says it looked like. That's why it says I actually looked at it. All right, well, then let me see it. I will check it, see if it's any good. Pretty good.
First quest in the next 15 minutes. I was trying to get on the next ocean fishing.
Nope.
I've always been fascinated by old school RuneScape's obsession with area locked accounts. To enter a massive, fun-filled game world and restrict yourself from using almost all of it seems ridiculous, but the strange new ways to play the game always make them unique. But then, Old School
Yeah.
RuneScape isn't a story-driven game with a main scenario quest. What could you even
No,
do
it's
in
not.
Final Fantasy XIV if you were locked to just one city? Maybe you could
I don't
dance
know.
around with the hordes of people in Ul'dah? Or maybe lay
I
down
don't
and
know.
soak in the sun in Gridania. You could still find
Maybe.
some fun, but if you couldn't leave, that would be the limit. You would be stuck right where you started. Unless
Right.
that city was Limsa. Limsa is the only starting city where you're able to gather something. If you could unlock Fisher and get the starting funds for some lures, you could continuously catch fish off of the docks. And that's not all. Limsa also has access to its own instance, ocean fishing, which has even more high-value fish. And with those fish, you could earn gil by selling to merchants and purchase better gear off the market board. And by making use of all the merchants in the city, you could level up the 3 available crafting classes. So here's the plan. I'm going to get my fisher to level 90, complete the fishing log from the upper and lower decks, including the 2 big fish found in those areas, get armorer, blacksmith, and culinarian to level 30, and get a 10,000 point voyage. And all of that without ever leaving Limsa. These achievements will show our progress, and to prove we never leave the city, we can use the exploration achievements. If I ever step out of Limsa, even accidentally for just a second, I'll be given one of these achievements and be forced to restart the account. With our gorgeous bunny boy created and the best possible name chosen, it was time to start our long journey.
This
We were
is
going to need
interesting.
high-level fishing gear to complete the fishing logs.
You
which meant
technically leave
somehow getting
Limsa
a
if you
lot
are
of money.
if you
The
go
upper and
to
lower decks
ocean
each
fishing.
have a unique big
I
fish,
think-
the golden fin for upper and the
I think
aquaman
you-
for
you
lower. Both of these
technically-
fish required 300
technically
gatherings
are
as a
in
minimum
an
to have a
instance
chance to catch them.
when
To
you
get anywhere
ocean
near that
fish.
number, we would have to rely on the market board. So with that in mind, we had to start scratching.
Like, you don't
together
really
some starting
leave
funds. And
Limsa,
we'll
you're
get those
instanced
starting
into
funds
something
from
else.
completing every quest in Limsa that I can, which is surprisingly a decent amount of them. As we go through the aft castle for another quest, we take a quick detour to the mail.
While that's happening,
all the account items I've accumulated over my
I'm gonna
years of
disappear
playing.
for a
Very few
second,
of these
guys.
are going to be usable, and most will just stand as good fashion. But there's one item in here that's integral to later in the run. But it's a bit too early to talk about that. For now,
I'm gonna
the best
disappear.
items from this are the feather circlet to boost our XP until level 25, and the Tantalus outfit to give us some nice new clothes. After finishing up at the Mail Moogle, we've completed our last main quest all too soon. The level 4 quest, On to Summerford, is the first
Oh, that's
quest
a
that
nice
makes you
touch.
leave
He's
Limsa,
putting
so
Dragon
we'll never
Quest
get
music in the
any further
background.
than this. Aside
All
from
right,
the
okay.
occasional combat quests
Hold
like
on.
rats in the wharf, we finish up every side quest in the city.
Okay. I'm gonna be completely and utterly honest with you guys. I don't know if you can do something like this on a normal base, except for this whole Limenza kind of thing. Like, what? You can't even level up properly unless you go through like a dungeon, unless you really want to take on mobs for hours and hours on end. It's like, what if you don't actually go through a dungeon? How do you level up? But like, being restricted in an area in 14 means that you have to come up with your own goal. That's very interesting. Very interesting. That's a lot of work too. Not inviting us, rude? Oh, damn it, I thought you didn't see it. No, I was gonna invite you. I was just hoping that it would just be like, oh, well, that's karma. So I was in 10th place, but I went back up to 11. That was karma. You said Limenza specifically. I think if you have your own set of rules and restrictions, I think that'll work. It'll work. But there's a thing about 14 being completely and utterly fucking like what people. Oh, hi, Yui. Do you want to do an expert too? You just popped him out of nowhere, man. Literally, like, jumped into the scene. I think you can, if you make your own goal, then I can understand how this works. Which he is. He's making his own goal.
And end up with a grand total of 1,085 gil. And to get every cent we possibly can, we sell the potions and ethers we got from our quests, leaving us with 1,112 gil for our fishing gear. So we've gotten this far, and I'm sure you're wondering how we're even going to unlock Fisher in the first place. As many of you may know,
how?
To unlock any new class, you have to complete the level 10 quest for your starting class. The problem with that is for Arcanist and any other starting class, the quests will require you to leave Limsa and kill mobs. So there are currently 2 ways to deal with this. The first is what most would expect. You make an exception, leave Limsa to do the quests, then come back and never leave again. But since the main way
Wait,
for
did I
us
not
to
give you an
check if
invite?
I've properly completed this challenge is to look at the achievements, this would effectively
Oh, I already did,
ruin
yep.
the account. It would be way too easy for me to pretend like I never left Limsa and go run off to Summerford. And so
Ooh.
we come to option 2. There is another
This is the
way, one
opportunity
so
that I've been
ridiculous
waiting
that it
for.
just might work. Pay to win, baby! The level skip available from the Mog Station will automatically complete the quests for any class you level up, including, of course, the level 10
Oh,
class. This means that, essentially, if we give in to
no.
corporate greed, it might count as the completion necessary to unlock crafting
Oh,
and gathering
no.
quests. So, with the hope
Oh,
of having
you
the
went
perfect
Sage?
Limsa account,
Oh,
we shelled out
never the
$25
fucking mind
and
then.
it worked. All those red
Nah, it's
class
all good,
quests
it's all
turned
good,
over
it's
to
all
blue.
good.
The level skip
I wanna
also
see your
comes with
healing
a lot of
skills.
good items. It gives armor, a weapon, and 500,000 gil, which I promptly threw away as I didn't want to trivialize things by starting with half
Nah,
a
you
mil.
already
We had
cheated,
other
dude.
plans for a large amount of money that didn't require buying
You already
things off the
cheated.
Mog Station. Something
give me a
that
second.
anyone trying this challenge could do, even if they took the first option.
You can
Finalizing
become
Storm
rich
out
without
and
leaving
feeling
Limsa?
a bit
Oh, yes, you can.
underdressed,
Yeah, I
which was
know.
unlocked.
I've
After a
seen
quick
that
stop
video.
To pick out a nice new outfit, we had to complete the first quest in the next 15
Fates?
minutes.
True.
I was
Yeah,
trying
you
to
can
get
level
on the
up with
next
Fates.
ocean
I forgot
fishing
about that.
boat. And to do that, we would need some anchovies. You know, with all the fishing in this video, it would be surprising if I didn't do a fishing for subscribers While collecting those anchovies, we get a start on filling the fishing log with finger shrimps, Melthor
Why is it
goby,
always this
Tom's
place,
kelp,
man?
and lemons and anchovies. A few short minutes later, the anchovies were handed over and ocean fishing was unlocked. The quests turn in for ocean fishing also got us the greatest boon we could ask for, 10 versatile lures. The normal price of a versatile lure is 300 gil. If we were lucky and they didn't all break, this could be enough to get us to 90 without ever
Cheater.
having to spend gil on bait, which was really important since the specific ocean fishing bait cost 8 gil each. What a ripoff, dude. Plumpworm, oh my god, those are expensive. And with that, we have the most important unlock for this character. Ocean fishing. I'll go over why when we get on the first ship. For now, we had some time before the next voyage, so I grabbed some pill bugs to get started on the next fisher quest. Questing started, we add harbor herrings and coral butterflies to the log. 3 herring later, the quest was complete, getting us new gear and a huge stockpile of bait. Crayfish ball bait wasn't exactly useful in Limsa, but it was a nice emergency fund of 99 gil if we ever fell on hard times. The next fishing quest sent us outside of Limsa to catch a princess trout, so this was the end of gathering quests. For now. Shortly after, it was time for our first ocean voyage. After the obligatory dynamis wait times, 6 minutes later, we got a full boat and it's time to ship off. As I mentioned earlier, ocean fishing is the crux of this character. 2 of the 5
Yes,
main
it
goals
is.
are reliant on ocean fishing. The
Hey,
10,000 point voyage, which
To
would
be
take an
honest,
insane amount of
since
luck
it is
with
an
how limited
instance,
my
I'm going to
abilities
take
are,
that.
and
I'm
level
going to
90
take that
fish.
as
The
like
fish
you
on
not
this
leaving
drop
Limsa.
with a good amount of experience from level 1 to 15, but anything higher than that, and it starts to be in the tens of hours per level, while the experience from ocean fishing scales with your level, so it makes reaching level 90 much more realistic. And of course, there's one more thing that makes it important. Oh, okay, I will take a 3 right off the bat. Oh my god, a spectral? My first fish is a spectral? That's 16 gil. I'm gonna be rich. Hold on, wait, this is amazing for money. Spectrals are 16 gil. Another more money, more gil. 2 spectrals in a row. That's 32 gil. I'm gonna be rich by the end of this. If you didn't know, the green gil on an item is called dungeon rarity. Those spectral butterflies weren't the only ones priced so high. All of the dungeon rarity fish from voyages were worth 16 gil. There's an event in ocean fishing called the Spectral Current. The current has a very rare chance to appear every time someone catches a spectral fish. And of all the people on this boat, I had the lowest chance to cause it. Since you have to catch a specific fish, normally players will stock up on the 3 baits we saw earlier and use the preferred bait for each area. But all I had was a versatile lure, so rather than targeting any specific fish, I just caught everything. It would be absolutely ridiculous if I ever— No way, dude! No way! I've gotten 4 spectrals and I just pulled the spectral current. Okay. Wow.
Did he?
Alrighty
Was
then.
it him?
There goes my luck for the rest of the video. This is what makes ocean fishing so overpowered. During the current, fish will bite much faster than normal, and the animation for catching them is heavily reduced. More importantly for us though, all of the fish from Spectral Currents are dungeon rarity. At 16 gil per catch, this was the best way for us to make money, and we could do it 3 times per voyage. My low level and lack of gear meant we lost some fish to GP, But other than that, the first spectral went amazing. I just pulled 4 spectral butterflies almost in a row, got spectral current, and now I'm rich out of my mind. After getting spectrals in the next 2 areas, I managed a stupidly high score for my level, 8,650 for my first one, reached level 30, got a new friend. I got the
Yeah, well, I
know
messed
his
up a
name
little
is
bit
the
there.
Major General, but I'm gonna call him the Admiral. The Admiral is here to hang out with us for the rest of our fishing adventures. And a nice bit of gil from selling the fish. 400 gil for that? That is insanely good money. With our
That
new
was
riches
bad.
in hand, it was time to get a pulse on the market board. Everything within reach right now was decently low level, so there wasn't a point just yet. It seemed like we had a chance for better gear at reasonable prices once we leveled up. But for now, it was time to store up our gil and grind out levels. I mean, I'm happy with this. That was super good for our first voyage. With our setup complete and the first voyage done, it was time to log off. Hopping back on, we grabbed some mineral water from the Culinarian Guild for boosting experience during voyages. If you didn't know, food buffs will boost your experience gained by 3%. Nothing crazy, but sometimes it can push you over the line.
I don't know why, but the Dragon Quest music is making it work.
Logs, but lose the new fish pretty quickly. 21 minutes later, we reach level 42 and sell off our fish. At 1978 gil, we're just barely below 2,000, so I take the time to work on the fishing log and earn a bit more. After catching an ocean cloud and missing the mooch fish again, we're sat at a nice, clean 2,000 gil. Third voyage, I joined in a bit late, so I got to watch everyone run off and have fun without me. While waiting for the ship, we get the last normal fish for our fishing log, the blue octopus. There were only 2 fish left to get, and both required at least 300.
I think I got hit by that.
So now we were just fishing for gil. We
I'm
didn't
good.
get the spectral current,
I'm good.
but I did get my megalodon. Wait, the megalodon?
You got a
didn't count as
megalodon?
Shark? What is a megalodon if not a shark? For the first time on this character, we got unlucky
A fish.
and had one area without a spectral current. If we got a spectral current,
You got
in the
a
next area, we
megalodon?
could make up for it,
Aw,
but it
you
hurts a
son
lot
of a
to miss one, and that's
bitch.
the main
I hate
way
him
we
now.
make guilt. To counteract
Oh, I don't
that
like
bad
him no
luck,
more.
We got a buff from some passing dolphins to increase our
I don't like
chances
him no
of causing
more.
a spectral, and
You got a
started one around
megalodon.
minute into the area. Dolphins also provide a buff that increases your GP regen, so I could use my abilities all that I wanted without much issue. Then I pulled in a bit of a special fish. 690 points? Oh, that one was huge. And then I got another one. We ran out of time for the final cast, but finished this area with almost 4,000 points. I started with just 900, so this had been insanely lucky. If I could finish all 3
I didn't do
voyage
so
missions and get
before
some
that.
good fish in the
That's
next
a problem.
area, this might be our 10,000 point run. The spectral came in late, with only 2 minutes left on the area, though we still managed to get over 5,000 points. But we only managed 1 of the 3 voyage missions, so our bonuses for voyages were low, and we ended with only 8,900 points. Incredibly close, but not enough. This just served as a reminder for how ridiculously lucky we would have to get our 10,000 point voyage. With our third voyage complete, we reached level 51 and earned about 400 gil. After the voyage, I did a bit of window shopping on Market Board to see what our future gear could look like. Most of the left side equipment, like chest pieces or pants, were ridiculously expensive. The only items that were manageable were main hand tools and some accessories. For our left side equipment, we might have to rely on the shops in Limsa. The prices are still expensive for how weak the gear is, but it's a lot more realistic, even if it doesn't give many stats. Early the next morning, we queue in for another voyage and spend some more time at the Market Board. Originally for this challenge, I wanted to be self-sufficient.
Sorry,
Not only would it be cheaper to make the gear myself, but it would also expand the goals to
giant
leveling
shark.
all of my crafting classes. So, to check if this was even possible, we grabbed a level 1 tool from the
I
field
swore-
craft supply.
I
Though,
swore
to no
sharks
one's
were
particular
fishes, but
surprise,
okay.
We aren't able to equip any tools for classes that we haven't unlocked via quests, and we're once again left with just 3 available crafters. Dreams crushed and 69 gil poorer, it's time to fish. It was our first time ocean fishing without a full boat, so we had to hope people knew what they were doing. I'm really hoping for some luck here on getting the spectral current, because we've only got 12 people. Dolphin buff has arrived. Hey. Thankfully, things went well, and we got all 3 spectrals with plenty of time to use them. Level 56 and just under 400 gil for our fish, things were going great. The funds we needed to get equipment were still far out of reach. Thankfully, I had a plan for how to handle it. There was one thing from much earlier in the run that would get us enough for high-level gear. But first, we needed to hit a good level for it, so we're on to the 5th voyage. While waiting for the ship, I took the chance to practice spinning mobs for solo-only Zamail attempts. With a full boat and all spectrals, we reached level 62 and hit 3,100 gil. 62 was a high enough level to get one of the best fishing rods for Limsa. For just 1,500 gil, this level 62 rod on its own gave us 242 gathering. Now we were just 37 gathering away from finishing the Limsa fishing logs. But with how much gathering equipment costs, even for low-level gear, that was no easy task. So it was time
All
to
right,
unveil
I have to
my
admit,
secret
I
plan. The
am
1,000 gil we
quite
started
interested
with
in what
wasn't
he's
our only starting
what he's
point.
cooking
Another
here.
was just a bit more hidden. Silver chocobo feathers are given to players for making a character on a preferred world, and for players that use the Recruit a Friend program. These feathers can be traded in at the Calamity Salvager for high-level combat gear, which can then, in turn, be sold to a merchant for a ridiculous influx of gil. So, with the 10 feathers from the preferred world and 10 feathers from Recruit a Friend, we can get 8 pieces of level 80 armor. Every armor piece sells for 1,625 gil, bringing us just short of 15,000. Rich out of my mind, it was time for a shopping trip. The cheapest armor still comes from an NPC, so we would end up spending a lot on low quality gear. A linen doublet gets us to 293 gathering, and some hempen work gloves push us over 300. You might be thinking, couldn't you have just used food buffs to do this rather than buying the equipment? Yeah, probably. I didn't think of that until just now. But either way, we were finally able to finish our fishing logs. After spending plenty of time sitting around waiting, we pull in our first big fish. The octomammoth was the last fish we needed for the lower decks, and also a very expensive fish. 25 gil per fish is a huge incentive to catch this, but it wasn't very consistent. At least it was some extra money outside of ocean fishing. With another octomammoth caught, I pawn them off to the nearest vendor and log off until the next voyage. Many days later, on May 22nd, Final Fantasy XIV got its new major patch, 6.4, The Dark Throne. With the usual new
The Dark
MSQ
Throne!
and a lot of other things we can't make use of, there was one update that affected Limsa. Ocean fishing got a new, higher level route, the Ruby route. Upon seeing this, I
This
stopped
is really
waiting
good, actually.
immediately and headed to
I
the
kind of
I was
am a fan of
incredibly
this.
excited. What would this new route hold? Higher value fish? Better experience? More achievements to add to the list? Hello gamers, welcome back to another day of Limsa. New patch just came out, so I'm gonna see if maybe there's some older accessories that are cheaper. That could give me some GP maybe. It looks like they're still just as ridiculously expensive. But either way, new patch. New patch said it included some funny new areas for our ocean fishing. And so of course, our ocean fisher must participate. And so excited as I could be, I sat waiting for my big moment, ready to cast out to unknown lands. We registered aboard, it is time to go. But for some reason, the voyage wasn't starting. Nothing too crazy, I suppose. I was on Dynamis after all, but something felt off. Okay, so once this ocean fishing
He was on
trip is over,
Dynamis?
I'm gonna
Wait a
hop on
minute.
Crystal with this
Is
character
Dynamis
just to get
in
the ocean
Europe?
fishing trips to go a bit faster, because it's 9 minutes now before we can get on this boat, and I
that
had
Europe?
queued up for that as it opened. It's taken a while. The time waiting for the boat gave me a chance to check for any other stat upgrades we can get. I had thought for a while that I would never be able to meld my gear, but having never checked the materia melders in Limsa,
Everybody
I
blew
hoped
up.
that maybe I had a chance. But sadly, even the materia melder requires you to talk to Mutamix, so melding my gear was once again not enough.
That's
The
Mer-
materia
that's
melder
America?
won't
I didn't know
actually
that.
meld my gear until after I've unlocked it from Mutamix, so we're not getting
was like,
safe
Dynamis?
there. 15 minutes later, the queue ended, and we got on a boat with just 7 people. Not even a full party. My concerns from earlier turned out to be more than just a vague bad feeling. I was still on the same boat route I was used to, and there were way less people than usual. So as I fished, I looked into things a bit, and I was crushed. I have to unlock it? No way, dude. Really? The new ocean fishing route had to be unlocked in Kugane, which means all this update would do is ruin the ocean fishing I could access. I'm dependent on other people, right?
And-
because I can never use the bait to get spectrals because I just have to use versatile lure because that's the most cost efficient. So I'm relying on other people using the proper bait to get me spectrals. Our little 7-man crew
America has
only
4
managed to
data
get
centers
1
now?
spectral for the whole voyage.
Excuse me,
So
wait, what?
Things weren't going so well for me. Level 67
that
and
true?
around 200 gil worth of
Am I
fish.
blind?
We were going to
Uh-oh.
have to hope
Didn't
this
get
was
that.
just
My
a
bad.
Dynamis problem. With a horde of folks on
Yeah, I would
waiting
like
for the
these
next
to be
voyage,
like
it seemed
some
like things might
rarity,
not be so
honestly.
bad
I would
until
love
that
for
voyage
like
started to
rarity in
disappear.
dungeon. I know that's a
no.
bad thing.
They're
That's a
all
bad thing.
going
But
to
I've
the
been
new
playing too much
one.
RuneScape and World of
So
Warcraft,
seemingly
where you're
endless
like,
wait
oh
time
shit,
to
that's like a
distract ourselves
legendary
from the new
something,
patch. At the end of the queue, 15
something
minutes later,
friggin'
we had a
bracelet.
boat of
I don't
10
know.
men.
I'm
Once
I
again
don't know. I've
confused
become a
as to
fan of
why
that.
Megalodon is not a shark. This voyage went just as bad as the last one. Another boat with
I'm
only
still
one
trying to figure that
spectral
out,
current.
too.
It was looking like I had to change my priorities and start using the funds I had on hand. Level 71 and another 200 gil. It seemed like we were getting further and further away from our 10,000 point voyage. After catching 0 octomammoths to supplement our income, I had a sudden revelation. There was still a way for me to complete my fishing quests. While I couldn't leave Limsa to catch the princess trout I would need, I never had to. I assumed earlier that I would have to catch the fish myself, but in actuality, all you need to do is hand one in. So, grabbing 2 off the market board for 200 gil, we managed to complete another fishing quest. In the hopes of getting more gear upgrades, we took the next quest. Unlike the princess
using
trout,
the Dragon
I
Quest
had 5
themes
navigator
really
daggers,
well.
and they were much more
I have to
expensive
steal that
on market.
idea.
Not just the navigator daggers, every other fish we needed for future quests just kept getting more expensive. So our fishing quests were at an end, but it was time for a similar type of grind. The first crafter to unlock is Culinarian. This was by far the most useful class of the 3 crafters, with the ability to make food for my fisher. Plus, I could use the fish I caught off the docks for materials in my crafts. After getting dressed, we start off with the easy part of the grind. Each crafter has one major hurdle when leveling them. The materials I could buy from NPCs would only get me as far as the level 15 recipes. Once we were working through 25 to 30, we would almost exclusively have to rely on the market board. For now, we took advantage of the early levels and stocked up on everything we would need for Culinarian. The next quest required us to be level 5, and it just so happened we had an extra princess trout to get us there. But after accidentally improving my quality instead of progress, we failed the craft. Instead, we used the Luminson anchovies we caught earlier for fish meal. After leveling up, we're met with a worst case scenario. It has to be a grilled trout. Are you kidding me? I'm such an idiot. Our slip up from earlier cost us much more than just finding a new way to level. 200 gil gone from our pockets, and Master's Men to ensure we complete the craft, the high quality trout is made, and we get some fancy new boots. At level 9, we were starting to get more and more recipes we couldn't get in Limsa, but there were plenty of low level ones we hadn't done yet. But if sweet cream and smooth butter gets us to level 11 and ready for the next quest. The level 10 quest was an easy one, only using materials from the NPCs. 2 grilled dodos later, our quest was complete and got us a better chest piece. While leveling, there was one thing I noticed I needed to follow up on. Culinarian is the only crafting class I've seen that can turn one material into multiple. 2 buffalo milk will turn into 5 smooth butter, and a high quality butter is worth 2 gil. That means that I could buy buffalo milk from the NPC for 8 gil, use 1 fire shard, and profit 1
I don't know
gil.
if I should be
Was it
standing
amazing?
here.
No, but it was much more consistent than the Octomammoth, and I could do it between voyages. The only problem was the fire shards. This hinged on fire shards costing 1 gil each. When checking the market board, we were way off a price for this to be profitable, so it seemed like we were out of luck. At 62 gil per fire shard, there was no way to make it work. Even if I couldn't do it indefinitely through the market board, I still had a lot of fire shards I could use. At 702 fire shards, if we used smooth butter, we could make around 1400 gil. Since things were so limited, I wanted to look around first. If my questing fire shards were all I had, I wanted to make sure whatever I did gave me the most money per craft. And with leave quests locked behind the MSQ, this was our best way to make money with crafting. The first option was fish meal. For 0 gil, we could catch 3 anchovies off the dock and make 12 fish meal. The issue was the time it would take to catch 2,100 anchovies to use up all of my fire shards, and then craft it all. Then, I found the perfect item. For just 3 gil, we could purchase rock salt from an NPC to craft table salt, an effective profit of 9 gil per craft, or 3 if I quick synthed normal quality. That's 3 gil for 12? That's a lot of money. If I did every single one of these crafts at high quality, where's my calculator? That would be 6k? Oh my god. I threw one together to start things off, but for now, it was a proof of concept to show that I was, in fact, sitting on a pile of money for whenever I needed it. Right now, I needed to save my shards, as I didn't know how much it would take to level up my crafters, and purchasing more shards off the market board was not an option. So we're back to leveling my Culinarian. Some tomato sauce, kukuru beans for kukuru butter, and some maple sugar for 3 high-quality pearl chocolate crafts. The level 15 quest needs a meat mikebab, and we can buy all the items from NPCs to make it. Another quest down, we get another upgrade for our shoes. With the level 21 to 25 crafts available, we start quickly running out of options from the NPCs. One of the few items we can still do is a dark pretzel, and 3 pretzels later, we're level 20. For the level 20 quest, we need some dried plums, which we'll have to get off the market board. The pixie plums were a bit expensive, but thankfully, someone was selling a single plum. 390 gil later,
Single
the plums
plum!
were made, and the quest was done. We had avoided new headgear up to
No
now
comms?
because of the
Yeah, no, we hate
the
you.
circlet gives a bonus to
And myself.
experience
I hate
below
myself.
level
Yeah.
25. And since we were about to lose that
No
experience
comms, not even
based
for
on
me.
my Culinarian, we take the new headpiece for later. With the anchovies we had on hand, we threw together some fish meal and started completing all of the lower level crafts for experience. Olive oil, more kukuru powder, a bit of flour, some pie dough, queuing in for the next voyage, and some high quality rabbit pies to use on my fish. Oh, full party. Thankfully, my issues from earlier seemed to have calmed down, and people were doing normal ocean fishing again. With our rabbit pies as a snack, it was time for a well-deserved good voyage. Which, of course, means it's time to lose our first lure and no spectrals in the first area. And in the second area, we got the spectral with just a minute left. Final area, we got the spectral pretty quickly, but we did lose out on a good bit of experience from the first zones. At least it was a full boat. 6,800 points, level 74, and just over 400 gil. Now it was
I
back
like
to
this
grinding
top.
culinary. We grabbed some super cheap antelope shanks, discover popotos are from market board, way more expensive. Data center hop to find some for cheap, grab some for 2 gil on Lamia, make 3 antelope
Oh, he's data
stews, grab a
hopping?
cheap alt goat chuck, and craft an alt goat steak to hit level 25. Luckily enough, alt goat steak just so happens to be the item for the quest. Level 25 done, and some fancy new gloves obtained, we were in the final stretch. Looking to use up the rest of the alt goat, we grabbed some Highland parsley off market board and make a furniture item, Riviera Supper. It only gave us around 9,000 experience, but it sells to a merchant for 150 gil each. Not including shards, this was a nice profit off of market board items. With a cheap stack of 26 alt goat chucks, we get to work. 7 crafts later, we're out of Highland parsley, sell off all of the suppers, and finish our leveling with alt goat steaks. Culinarian was 30, and our first crafter goal was complete. To finish things off, we grabbed the level 30 quest. The first high quality request also needs us to grab some raptor shank and sun lemon off the market board. After seeing some outrageous prices, we grab a raptor shank for 500 gil and 10 sun lemons for 1,000. A high quality raptor shank made, the level 30 culinarian quest was finished. And now, as a level 32, we can take the moment and see we profited off leveling my crafter. The quest rewards almost always counteracted the cost of leveling, and after selling off our final items, we were over 10,000 gil. One of 3 crafters finished, it was time to take a break until our next voyage. Revitalized the next morning, we try and hop on another boat. Stuck with the early morning wait times, even on Crystal, I had to do something to fill the time. So it was time to start crafting. Blacksmith and armorer unlocked, we had around 5 minutes to get through the first level.
Oh wait, that was blacksmith. Why am I doing black mage? Wait, did I hit that by mistake? I did black mage by mistake. Oh my goodness.
I didn't have the highest of hopes, but all we needed was a bit of luck. We start things off
Did I
with
just say
very
fuck it
late
and just go
spectral,
on with
but
it?
Still managed to get a good few fish. My big moment, pulling up the spectral current. No,
Yeah, fuck it.
Somebody got it right before
Let's do it.
me, and it was
I
a
chose black
spectral that was
mage.
supposed
Fuck
to
it.
be my
Let's go.
moment. Come on. The first fish we pulled up the spectral showed us just how lucky a boat could be. Ooh, shark. That's a really good shark. And another one. Okay, that's really, really lucky. Another 500.
I meant to do summoner. It didn't happen.
This is amazing. That was insane. I've got almost 4,000.
This guy is
points,
enjoying
not including any of
the
my bonus.
little bit of
By
points
far the
he is
best chance
gathering.
we've had at our 10,000 point achievement. Now it was all up to the third area and any bonuses. If I could complete all 3 voyage missions or cause a spectral, I had it no question. Right as a group of dolphins arrived, we got the last spectral. I didn't cause it, but the dolphin buff gave us all the GP we needed to catch plenty of fish, and all of those fish pushed us up to 5,400 points. But there was still a problem. That spectral and this entire area hadn't been enough to complete either of my remaining missions, so it was left up to fate. I just had to hope my bonuses would be enough. Ooh,
Mana font.
20%. No!
No!
You've gotta be joking, dude. If I had just gotten one more mission. After being 97 points off one of our goals, I was feeling a bit dejected, so I worked on leveling my last crafters. At least there was one goal I could control. We had been given 60 copper ore from the level 1 quests, so first order of business is turning them all into ingots. An inhuman amount of bronze ingots, a new hammer for my blacksmith, 3 more hammers for my blacksmith quest, a hammer for my armorer, some bronze plates, and 3 bronze hoplons gets us to level 12 on my armorer while completing the level 5 quest, and level 11 on my blacksmith while doing the same. Since I had gotten all of the crafter gear from my culinarian quests, I could take the sellable items this time, making these quests even more profitable. For the level 10 quests, we needed 12 bronze plates and 12 bronze rivets. Easy gil acquired, we were getting through these quests at a breakneck pace. It sure would be terrible if there was suddenly some problem preventing me from doing any more quests. Next is a bronze helmet, our first craft of iron, a bronze buckler, a fancier helmet, a bronze spatha, and a big spiked axe. Compared to my culinarian, these quests were going great. I was consistently overleveled for each segment, and I was raking in tons of gil from rewards. With both quests handed in, Armorer was level 19 and Blacksmith was 18. Since I needed the experience, I took the chance to make new tools for level 21. We got 2 yew lumber off the market board and crafted a new hammer for my Blacksmith and Armorer. 1 iron plate later, both classes were at level 20, and it was time for the next quest. Wait, what? But you must also attach a single materia to it? No way, dude. I have to actually hop every single world and hope that there is a crosspane hammer with a materia on it for sale. Somebody has to do that, right? Because it's a quest, people will do that and just put it up for stupid high prices. Yes, but it's 27K. No way, dude. And there wasn't even a hoplon with a materia for the armorer quest. There was nothing I could do. I hopped around worlds for a while, but it was rare to find one in stock, let alone one that had materia in it. I showed earlier that the only out I had, the Materia Melder NPCs, wouldn't meld until after you unlocked it yourself, so I would need almost triple my current gil for a level 20 quest. So we sold off all the extra bits and bobs from our questing so far, and we had to finish getting to level 30 on our own. Since questing was finished, we'd be slowly draining our funds until we leveled up, which was only made worse by the insane price of iron ore, even from NPCs. Iron ingots into rings and joint plates, an iron plate and ash lumber for an iron skillet, more iron and lumber for a war axe and iron hatchet, the war axe into an inferno axe, queuing up for the next voyage, and some iron pliers right as the voyage begins.
I'm in the middle of a craft, alright? Just give me 2 seconds. I'll get to the voyage in a minute.
We missed out on Final Spectral, but we ended at level 80 with a bunch of new fish to add to the collection. A few voyages ago, I decided to start stockpiling fish instead of selling them to merchants so we could see how much we had at the very end. Back to business, we're crafting more pliers. The crafts for level 26 to 30 use steel ingots, so we were going to need some bomb ash off the market for. Thankfully, people were selling it for cheap, but rarely in small amounts. To finish off my blacksmith, we make some steel ingots, steel nails, and steel rivets to reach level 30. We used 7 of our 8 bomb ash for blacksmith, so we needed to improvise a bit for armor. Iron and bronze ingots, bronze rivets and rings, an iron plate to make an initiate's alembic and an iron alembic, iron helmets to make fancier iron helmets, the final steel ingot for steel rings, a brass ingot from an NPC to turn our iron alembic into a conical alembic, many more alembics, more bomb ash off the market board, and some steel rings to finish things off. Level 30 armorer, that is all 3 crafters at level 30. And with that, in just under 14 hours, my crafter goals were finished. Now, there were only 3 goals left. Level 90 Fisher, the Limsa Upper Decks fishing log completion, and the ever-elusive 10,000 point voyage. We catch our first fish on the upper decks to unlock the fishing log and get ready for the final big catch. Selling off all the crafter items we had left, it was time to take stock of our remaining funds. One way to make the 10,000 point voyage easier was to use triple hook, but with just 6,200 gil left, there was no way we could get the 350 GP to use it, not even with our beloved crab cakes. After around an hour, it was time for another voyage. Now that we were level 80, experience from ocean fishing would slow down drastically since the Road to 80 buff had fallen off. Road to 80, a buff you get for making a character on a preferred world, had been doubling all of our experience gains since the very beginning. Without it, things were going to feel a lot slower. We missed one of the earlier spectrals, but in the final area, I pulled one up myself. The worst possible one we could have gotten because there's only a minute left, but I did it all the same. It was from me. You're welcome, everybody. But even with the bonus for special current, it still wasn't even close to 10,000. While waiting for the next voyage, we go hunting for the golden fin, but it ends up getting away. There was only enough time for one attempt, and right after, we get the first full voyage we've had in a long time. After getting lucky with a strong fight mission and using identical cast for sharks, we managed to get all 3 voyage missions done. With a full boat of people and all 3 missions finished, it was looking like a perfect storm to get 10,000. But that would be too easy. As if the game was apologizing to me, right after the voyage, we landed our golden fin. There she is. That is the goldfin caught, and all
This man is making an entire journey.
are completed. Just 2 things left. Level 90 fishing and a 10,000.
Making an entire
Later that
journey
night,
out of all
around
those.
1 a.m., I couldn't sleep and decided to do another voyage. In my sleep-deprived stupor, I forgot to record my audio, but hey, that's what narration is for. The first spectral came early, giving us plenty of time to rack up points, and we ended the first area with 1,800. There was no spectral for the second area, but I took the chance to stack up as many angler arts as I could. 3 stacks of angler arts could be used to get 150 GP back, so when the next spectral came, we could do some incredible combos. With 5 minutes left and the dolphin buff activated, we got our final spectral. Identical casting a high-value pufferfish and one last eel gets us over 5,100 points. And right at the end, with 50 seconds left, we managed to finish all 3 voyage missions. I had never been happier that I couldn't sleep. Just like that, there was only one goal left. The easiest of the set, Fisher at level 90. After using the mount I would never be able to summon, it was time to rest. Waking up the next morning, we hop on a voyage and end up with 4 million experience left to 90. The next voyage would be our last. With a heavy heart, we queue in for our final ocean fishing voyage. Standing atop the ship's figurehead, we take in the sights one last time. And then, surrounded by the lights of the spectral current, our journey came to its end. As the sun sets on our final voyage, there was just one thing left to do. Our collection of fish had gotten ridiculous, so it was time to sell everything off. For all that fish, we made 3,400 gil. As a final farewell, I wanted to spend it all, and there was a high-level gathering earring just within reach. So, after making use of our fire shards for table salts, with one final sale to our favorite NPC, at long last, we had our first new accessory. without ever leaving Limsa Lominsa. Not a single area in Lenosha, nothing in Thanalan, nothing in Central Shroud. Still on the level 4 MSQ that wants me to leave and go to Middle Lenosha. We have gotten everything. Everything I set out to do is done. All of my crafters are at level 30. My fisher is at level 90. We got our 10,000 point voyage and the mount that comes with it that I'll never be able to use. We've got honestly some really good gear for how limited our money has been. 19 hours and 41 minutes for a perfect Limsa account. I'm really proud of this one. I really am. Goodbye, Mr. Dolphin. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Dolphin.
I've always been fascinated by old school RuneScape's obsession.
Oh god,
with
it
area
restarted!
lock accounts. To enter a massive, fun-filled game world and restrict yourself from using almost all of it seems ridiculous, but the strange new ways to play the game always make them
I can't
unique.
let go.
But then, old school RuneScape isn't a story-driven game with a main scenario quest. What could you even do in Final Fantasy
It doesn't
XIV if you were
auto-stop.
locked to just one city? Maybe.
Okay. 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 That was actually a good series. I liked it. I like what I watched. Whew. And I messed up. All right. Messed up there. I moved. All right. Yeah, they were right about this expansion not being very friendly to casters. Oh. How long have I been streaming? 3 hours and 41 minutes? Can I make like a quick video before I even go to bed? Is that even possible? Damn it. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. Oh, man. I was pressing the wrong button. I was like, why isn't it going off? Ah, I feel silly. Ah! Oh, he went the other direction. I've not seen that before. And get out of there. Do 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 do. I don't want any of it. Y'all can have it. I don't want it. All right. Thanks, guys. appreciate it. Man, it's been a day. It has been a day. Ah, it has been a day. We're going to disband. Psh, we have disbanded. Well, at least Limsa is still alive, you know? Nothing changed with that. Oh, looks like it's time for us to say goodnight. Oh my god, what is all this? I think it's time to say goodnight to y'all. Wait. What's happening here? Wait, showing on stream? By video? There we go. There we go. Anyway, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I think there's something I can sleep on with this, with everything that's going on right now. It's maybe just a repeat of things that's been going on for 14 for just a whole bunch of time. All right. I think this is probably a good subject to try to touch upon maybe in the future. Anyway, I'm gonna ask for a quick trial, but yeah, no, it's 11 p.m. for me over here, so time for me to hit the hay. But thank you guys for joining me in just, you know, two of those, and perhaps entertaining this long ass review of a video for Zepla. Now we can say that that was definitely not me taking the video and just posting it on stream. maybe not. I'm not too sure. I pulled an Asmongold. That's what I did. Anyway, you guys have yourselves a good night. Take care.